Good to see you, everyone. My name is Robbie Howell, and we are back for yet another mid-campaign MVP mission. I am joined by three fine friends, two of whom are very familiar on the channel, and one of whom is not. And it is our first time getting to have her on a mission. So let us begin by introducing our players, beginning with the one and only Meekable.
Hello, hi, I go by Meekable or Meeks on the server. I've been playing Enclave for a little over a year now, send help. But I've been having a blast. It's been great getting to not only know about the game, but also to share it with a bunch of people and see them enjoy the game.
Yep, excellent. And next up, our newest friend, Lacara.
Hi everyone, I'm Lacara. We got introduced to Enclave a couple of months ago when Robbie was very kind and came and did a one-shot for us on a friend's channel on YouTube, and it was so much fun that I got sucked in. So it's been great.
And we love having you here. And lastly,
Yeah, my name is David Torres, aka Detour, longtime player of Enclave now since before the first release. So, always excited to get on a mission.
absolutely, and it's great to have you as always. In that same order, let's hear about your characters, beginning with Totoy.
Yes, Totoy is my puppet child vessel, a little puppet that came to life because of the wishes of a sad father. Unfortunately, Totoy wasn't quite accepted by his father. Something. The father kind of ran away, but the Enclave found him, and since then he has been growing up, learning how to do human things, and being an agent.
Excellent. And next up, Seraphina.
Seraphina is a librarian who has a grumpy exterior but a heart of gold, and is weirdly becoming an emotional manipulator.
Perfect. And lastly, Basalt.
All right. So yeah, Basalt, as I like to have the affectation of his
Yeah,
name,
as I like to fuck up his
is
name every time, I apologize.
everybody does. He is a lithomancer from a sort of arcano-geotech society. He's an exile from said society because he was framed for a murder that he did not commit.
Excellent. And with these characters, I have the following mission ready for them. The focus words that I received were as follows. I got Slinky, violation of Pinky Promise Law, and Flail to the face. And off of that, I came up with the following mission. You guys are being sent to a bunker, top secret and under heavy, heavy surveillance. And you are being sent there to recover a disc that contains an imaginary friend. Some context. In this particular part of Manifold, there is a strange phenomena where certain children's imaginary friends can actually become bound to them as bodyguards. These imaginary friends are called fetches. And a fetch tends to be an incredibly powerful entity. We're talking like could single-handedly defeat a squad of armed soldiers sort of threats. And the other thing to note about fetches, however, is that as soon as a child hits 18, their fetch vanishes. It gets weaker the older they get too. It kind of peaks in power around the age of 7 to 9. And as you might imagine, having these super ghosts, effectively, because I forgot to mention, they can't be hurt except by other fetches. And if a child wishes hard enough, they can effectively bring a fetch back to life without it having much problem, even after it's been defeated. So these things are terrifying. And another note, fetches cannot harm children. Anyone under 18 is completely immune to them. But that said, there is a tremendous amount of implications militarily for having invulnerable super ghosts. And an organization called Augur, AUGR, has figured out a way to do this. They have been systematically duping children out of their fetches and binding them to discs that they effectively will like slot into a funny little Walkman. And they found out how to store this, and recently they even made a breakthrough that let an adult wield a fetch. First time this has ever been done, and obviously this is highly implications heavy. You guys are being sent to this bunker controlled by Augur, where they are holding a small repository of these fetch discs. And you are going there alongside a young boy named Cleven. And Cleven was tricked out of his fetch, and he wants it back. And so you need to help Cleven recover his fetch. While the Augur soldiers will not only defend it with whatever they have, this is unbelievably valuable technology that they worked very hard to steal from him. With their technology, to steal his imaginary friend from him. But more notably, the Augur troops here, several of them, are able to wield fetches themselves and will use them against you. Cleven will be immune. He is a child. Totoy, it remains to be seen whether a puppet can count for this. Also of note, this is quite relevant as well. Even the Augur soldiers that do not wield fetches, they will be armed, but their armaments will be largely less than lethal. Still wildly unpleasant, and they will toast you, right? And they're certainly not going to harm Cleven. They'll just pick him up and bring him outside, and they go through all that sort of thing. So because of this, those who are adults in this group should expect severe danger, and those who are Totoy in this group should expect potential severe danger, especially because Totoy is likely at first to be considered a fetch, because what the fuck else would a walking, talking doll be doing in this part of Manifold? Their opinion.
Other than causing Seraphina nightmares.
Yeah, exactly. Any other notes? Again, this isn't a bunker. It is rather large. It's kind of expansive. It's heavily fortified, and it has a lot of checkpoints and lines of defense. There is no amount of collateral damage that is unacceptable here. The only things that you need to make sure of are that obviously Cleven is okay, and he gets back Crackle, his fetch. Questions?
Do fetches have unique abilities?
Yes, they do. And they are quite differentiated in terms of their abilities. Crackle, for example, looked like kind of a funky-looking anthropomorphic crab with a bunch of extra arms that could punch so fast he would make cavitation bubbles that would explode after he punched.
Sweet, like a mantis shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. He was precisely that, like an anthropomorphic mantis shrimp. But they can be very differentiated in terms of their powers and appearances.
How do they organize these discs with the fetches on them? Are they able to distinguish which disc holds what?
Yes. The discs are clearly marked, though the exact operation of them is very, very secret. It is abundantly likely that they will be marked in some way, though. And if it's marked in such a way that is not like immediately eyeballable, that will probably be almost entirely up to either Seraphina or bullying the shit out of the Augur guards in order to get out the information.
How
Are there
old...
likely...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Are there likely to be the little Walkman things in the facility, or
yeah,
like... Okay, cool.
Especially by the ones who are trained in using them, they will always have one on their appearance or on their person. But it is likely there are others around as well.
Excellent.
How old is our client, and can he read?
Yes, he can. Not super duper well, but he can read at an expected like 3rd grade level. And
so, like,
he is
8?
himself just under 8.
Okay, so Crackle is at peak ability, basically.
Power, yeah. Crackle, to give you an idea of how terrifying this thing is, Cleven, when he was being... Because the way that that Augur steals fetches is they, as you might expect, they want to make the child feel special. And so they had him show off what he could do with it. Crackle punched a hole through a tank without much trouble. Very, very scary fetch. And that was a year ago.
Why did our client create Crackle this way? Does he, like, marine life a lot? Is his powers related to wanting to be protected?
Yep,
What can you give
they're
us?
all related to interests. And because of this, he, for example, had a hermit crab terrarium growing up. Probably saw a documentary about a mantis shrimp at some point. But more notably, his dad is a retired pro boxer. But he himself is a very uncoordinated child who has always kind of failed in athletics at every step of the way. But he really wants to. And so always a fetch is connected to the child's interests.
How'd this child get in here?
Okay, that's the trick of it, right? The child isn't in yet. You have to get him in. But he has found his way to the bunker. This is the bigger one. He ran away from home to do this, and has been taking buses and asking very polite directions of strangers for about 3 days to get to this location. As you might imagine, police are searching everywhere for him. But it seems as though he has a pull towards Crackle, because obviously he's not going to be like, oh yes, I got to figure out the location. No. He's just like, I'm going to get my friend back. And he has found it by hook or by crook.
How is the Enclave known in this area? And if so, how are they perceived?
The Enclave is known in this area, and in fact, this is one of the rare areas where people on the mission may actually know the name Enclave, because Augur has been trying to figure out how to get an in with the Enclave forever. Also, this area, being that it tends to spawn children with supernatural death creatures, is of very great interest to the Enclave. So they recruit from this area often enough that it has come to Augur's attention. Not like every grunt is going to know by any means, but like high-ranking Augur members, especially in their strategic wings, will know of the Enclave.
Oh, fantastic. We can use that.
Other questions? Awesome.
Nope.
In that case, let us proceed to assembly. Obviously, everything that we have discussed is known entirely in character, including the Q&A. And let us jump straight into the process brought together in this meeting room at Enclave HQ, called from all of the different corners of Manifold from which you hail. Let us get a brief reminder of your physical appearance and first actions upon entering the plain but beautiful meeting room in which you congregate, starting with Totoy.
Alrighty, so Totoy comes walking in, looks like a little wooden puppet. Surprisingly, it doesn't look like they are controlled by strings in any way. Like it's moving on its own. How weird. The face is kind of uncanny in that it is trying to be human-like, but just misses the mark enough for you to do a double take. It is wearing a very lovely little like jacket slash cloak, which acts as its ceremonial raiment. It does have also a what looks to be the crossbar of its marionette bar attached to its back. And new to his arsenal, he is now holding a tiny toy wooden gun because he saw the Asian Crow use it before and it was really cool. And so he wanted a gun.
Awesome. And first actions upon entering assembly.
Just kind of goes in excited and then sees that he's the first one. And so just kind of like, he is going to be mature. He is going to go to a chair, pull it out, and sit down politely and not talk.
And next up, Seraphina, a reminder of physical appearance and first actions upon entering the assembly room with Totoy being there.
Oh god. Yep. Seraphina walks in. She is short, about like 5'2", 5'3", with a very severe bowl cut, black hair, totally pitch black sunglasses on, obscuring her eyes, and dressed in very practical steampunk wear, like the baggy jods and blouse and vest, book bag. She walks in. Is Totoy's chair turned like so that as soon as she walks in, she sees Totoy? Or does she make it into the room and then realize he's in there? Oh god. Yeah, you spin that chair. She's halfway. She's got her eyes on the tea urn to get her usual drink, and she sees that out of the corner of her eye, and she jumps like half her height, and then tries to pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Totoy, would you say anything as Seraphina enters the room?
Well, he knows that it's polite to introduce himself, but also to wait for them to get your attention. So the moment that Seraphina now looks at Totoy, because he doesn't want to disturb, now that Seraphina's looking at Totoy, this is the perfect time. He takes his, like, he's waving his gun around, right? And he's like, "Hi, I'm Totoy, what's your name?"
Would she respond or be focused intently on tea as much as she can possibly bring herself to be?
I think she's afraid to turn her back on this thing. She has edged around to the tea, and she looks and goes, takes a deep breath, like, "Hello, I'm Seraphina. Are you an agent?"
"Yeah, an agent. Are you an agent?" he asked, even though he already knows the answer.
"I am an agent. Fantastic. What do you do?"
"Well, now I have a gun, so I can do gun stuff."
Okay. Well, I know things basically, and I talk people into doing things.
"Whoa, you must be really smart."
I
And
try.
before we go further with that, Basalt, physical appearance and first actions as he enters mid-conversation.
Basalt is about 6 feet tall. He is a 20-year-old male. He is rather sort of wiry and lean-muscled, which belies his rather formidable strength. He is carrying a gigantic rock maul, which he has hoisted over one shoulder, and a kite shield, V2 kite shield, by the way. And yeah, he is bald, kind of a stubbly beard, loose brown robes, and sort of like sackcloth dungarees that are just always dusty, no matter what. And he just walks in. Yours? Pointing at Totoy, looking at Seraphina.
No, it's own apparently. She. I'm sorry. What do you go by?
If you're asking Totoy, he says, "I'm 4 years old."
Excellent.
Construct, but not under anyone's direct control. Interesting.
Yes, it seems like it. I'm sorry. I'm Seraphina. She'll walk over, put a hand out. You are?
It just like put them all down.
Thunk.
Basalt.
I have worked with one of you before. Are you one of the rock people?
Kind of cocks his head at that. I'm a Geoki.
Okay.
The term in my lands.
Okay. Excellent. I'm not sure if rock person is a formal explanation. It is the only one I have been given.
Totoy's just kind of awkwardly sitting there because of the way that Basalt kind of like referred to him, but not really talking to him.
Yeah.
And he just kind of says, am I in trouble?"
I think Basalt would actually kind of kneel down for a second, get down at Totoy's level. No, little one. Just
Jaw drops. Yay! His jaw is one of those ones that just like opens and closes.
Exactly. Like a nutcracker.
Yeah, like a nutcracker.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm Totoy. What's your name?
Basalt.
Basalt.
Looks them both over. I'll keep you safe.
Thank you. Do you have a gun like Mr. Crow?
No, I have this.
Oh.
Thunk.
Well, That's okay. And then he holds up his gun, and then he looks at Basalt. I'll protect you.
And pardon, Seraphina, what were you going to say?
This could be useful since we're dealing with children's constructs. Having Totoy along could be useful. Can you actually protect yourself, little one?
I've been on a lot of scary missions, and I'm okay.
Okay. Well, she points at her face. She's like late 40s. I cannot pass for a child. Basalt, do you think you could? Well, no. You're young, but you're not young enough. Ah,
When
we'll figure it out.
Seraphina points at herself and says, yeah, no, I can't pass as a child. Because Totoy's a kid. Totoy goes, yeah, you're old.
Yes, I am. She does not seem fazed by this.
So we must help the child.
Apparently.
And at this point,
Yeah, we're going to help him, and then they're gonna be with their friend again, and then badges will ping, and then.
and as Totoy is saying this, the Enclave attendant standing in the room silently would turn on a heel and stride forth from it. And in the attendants leaving, the 3 gleaming telepaths along the far wall would spring to life. Please finish up what you were saying, Totoy.
No, he's in that and then loop that kids sometimes
Of course,
get
yes.
into.
And as Totoy is chattering, final actions before we start on the mission, beginning with Basalt.
I think he would just turn to the 2 others. Stay close to me. And then just step onto the telepad.
I love having a human shield. She steps onto the telepath.
Totoy still holding his gun, like pointed to his head, like in like this kind of way, like okay, and then goes to the.
And as the 3 of you take your places atop the telepads, you would feel the familiar, unfamiliar feeling of teleportation begin to ripple up through your body. A tingling starting in your feet that leaves your legs asleep in its wake, passing your midsection. Your guts churn violently, passing your chest. Your heart flutters and you no longer feel its beat. And when the tingling passes your eyes, your vision explodes into ribbons of color. The world falls away. There is a buzzing in your ears, and then there is nothing. But as swiftly as the sensation arrives, it leaves. And you find yourselves underneath an early morning sky. It must be about 6 a.m. or so. There is a pleasant springish nip to the air, and you can hear the sounds of vehicles driving about and buses honking. There are cars about you, though the cars are old-timey by like our modern standards. I don't know whether Seraphina's setting has cars in it or whether Totoy's does. I'm going to go on a tremendous limb and say that Basalt does not have cars about. But the cars would be, in terms of their rough tech level, think like World War II-ish in terms of their era. You are standing outside of a great big brick building. It looks kind of like a train station. And it has a big like sign over the front that says in kind of an inscribed placard, Sergeant's Arm Blockhouse. And then a little like a placard on the side, which shows a very over-designed kind of brutalist logo and AUGR written on it, now recruiting in big bold letters underneath. And sitting on the steps with a boxed lunch in his hand and chewing away on a peanut butter sandwich, you can see a young boy. He has darker skin and he has kind of scrappy little strands of black hair. He looks maybe like he has alopecia or something, like he doesn't have a super developed head of hair on him. And he just kind of contemplatively looks at the cars that are passing by, sitting on the steps of the blockhouse. He looks like he hasn't had a bath in a little while, but he doesn't look like he particularly cares about that either, and doesn't notice you as you teleport in at his side. Immediate actions upon arriving, we will begin with Seraphina.
I would look around, make sure that the immediate area was like safe that we didn't have some augur representative like instantly bearing down on us.
Yep. You don't see any immediately.
Cool. And then go Cleven.
And Cleven kind of looks over and blinks at you, still chewing, and he says through his mouthful, "Hi, how do you know my name?"
We're here to help you get your fetch back.
He swallows a little too quickly, coughs, and thumps his chest, and then says, "You are?
Yeah.
Really?"
Yeah, for real. Crackle, right?
"Yeah." And he
Yeah.
smiles. He says, You're not police, right?
No.
'Cause then I know I did a bad thing by running away, but I need to find him, and they're not gonna help."
Yes. Well, we'll see about getting you back to your family afterwards because I'm sure they're worried about you.
He suddenly
But
frowns. He says, "You're not Augur, right?"
no, we're definitely not augur.
Huh. He
But you've
gets
done
to
a
his
very
feet,
good job finding him.
and he nods and tucks his peanut butter sandwich away and throws his small backpack over his shoulders and tightens up the straps. As he is doing so, however, first actions from Basalt.
I think he would take a deep breath of the air and kind of wrinkle his nose. Stinks, noisy. Because even the bit of car exhaust would be offensive to him.
Quite.
And then turning to the boy, so you can find him, sense him.
"Yeah, he's here, but I can't get in."
In there.
"Down. Under it. I think it has a basement."
Well, given that, I'm going to take my rock maul, turn it upside down, and slam it down on the ground as an activation for Tremor Sense.
Cleveland jumps slightly, and the rock maul leaves a crack in the sidewalk. But it does give you quite a good view of tremor sense. I don't know if Basalt has been to a modernish setting yet or a very developed city. But if he has not, then the sheer amount of stuff underground would be kind of remarkable. Not only are there subterranean wires and sewer pipes everywhere, and every building has a basement, but of course this building, the one that you care about, has a vast basement underneath. It's almost twice the size of the building itself, and the building is not small. Again, train station size, but think like a small local train station, not like a massive one like you'd find in New York City. And the basement does not seem to have multiple levels. It just kind of spreads out in a great, not a disc, right, but like an oblong directly underneath the building itself. And is accessed by two shafts that go down into it.
Looking at the building in front of me, can I have a rough idea of where those shafts might be? Are they like
one would
in
be
the back?
close
Are
to the
they
door.
inside?
Yeah, one would be close to the door on the right. The other would be far across on the left.
People within the building?
There's, as with many modern constructions, there's
movement.
layers of construction, that make it kind of weird to detect movement. Basalt has a much easier time detecting movement underground in the bunker. He would pick out at least half a dozen sets of like movement points in there, probably more. Inside of the building itself, though, he only gets kind of a loose gauge, especially on like the ground floor of maybe 2 or 3 people, though again it's much more fuzzy.
All right. Does the back look clear?
The back
as
of the
opposed
building?
to the front, where presumably if we try to go through the front, there's probably someone there, but perhaps the back is less populated. So, there's only a few people. So.
It seems as though the back is less populated, but again, it's fuzzier at ground level. Before we go further with that, however, Totoy, first actions upon porting in. Seraphina is talking with Cleven, and Basalt is thumping his hammer on the ground.
Ooh, okay. So it was mentioned that Cleveland was eating and there was a lunchbox, correct?
Yep.
When Seraphina is, done talking and he's like, oh, this is the time where I introduce myself. He sees the colorful lunchbox and points at it and like, I like your lunchbox.
And
What does it look like?
The lunchbox is a metal thing that is imprinted with like a basic colorful design. It's pleasant, it's pretty, and it has like, how to describe this? Like a very stylized little spotted dog on the front, making a little like cartoon character face. And as you do so, Cleven says, "Thanks. Do you know Smudge?" He holds it up. It's branded Smudge.
He looks at it and then just kind of like taken aback and says, "Uh-huh." No, he doesn't.
And he nods and says, "Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite comic strip." He says,
Me
"Wait,"
too.
and he looks and he says, "Oh, I didn't know that fetches could read comic strips."
Ooh, Let's see. I would say that Totoy would be informed that he could be mistaken as a fetch.
That was something we
And-
mentioned in the pre-mission.
Yep. So Totoy would go, "I'm not a fetch. I'm Totoy, and I'm an agent." And then he like makes his badge appear and then show it to him, and then puts it away, and he goes, "And I'm here, and I'm gonna help you find your friend, and then you're gonna be together, and then another and then loop."
Yeah. Cleven is a little taken aback and looks questioningly towards Seraphina, seeming he looks kind of guilty, as though he offended Totoy.
It's okay. I actually was wondering if Totoy could be confused with a fetch. That might be useful for us. And she's gonna turn to Totoy and go, "It's okay. Totoy, the fetches are really strong, so it's a compliment that he thinks that you could be a fetch."
Totoy's jaw drops slowly, like that leans over to Seraphina and then whispers into her ear, covering, like, "He thinks I'm strong?
Yeah,
Do you think I'm strong?"
I'm sure you are. You wouldn't be an agent.
"I am." And then again, he's like holding his gun and he just starts waving.
Happily waves gun.
Is it a wooden gun?
It is a wooden toy gun. It is not an
Okay,
actual
okay.
gun.
Okay.
As
Just
far
wanted
as
to make
you
sure I didn't-
know.
Yeah. This is Enclave. Who knows?
And as Cleven kind of follows this exchange, he seems, again, kind of guilty feeling. And he would kind of trot over to Totoy and say, "Here, if you want, you can get," and he kind of looks at your mouth, "gumball?" and offers you like a 5-cent piece.
Nice. Totoy goes, "Ah!" And if he puts it in his mouth, closes it, opens it, inexplicably, the gumball is gone.
Yeah. And after he kind of puts the gumball inside, one of the ones that you would get in like one of the things that you would see at like soda shops and nowhere else, he kind of pulls his hand away, blinks, and says, "Did you swallow it?"
"It's gone. Thank you." And then Totoy extends out his arms and he goes for a hug.
And Cleven, to his credit, does hug Totoy, though you see him kind of like feeling to like see what Totoy is like made of. Like,
What are you?
but he does give him a little hug. Although, as you may know, with like small children in particular, when they hug, it's like,
Yes, it's
they
like
wanna-
the small kid hug. It's
yeah,
like
they want to be doing other things at the same time. Before we go further, however, Seraphina, follow-ups from you before I jump back to Basalt.
I want to ask Cleven, we don't have fetches where we come from, so we know a little bit about them, but can a fetch look like anything?
He considers. They look not like a person. They look like a comic usually, from what I've seen. Maybe some don't, but they all look very different, and they look like comics, and they're bright and colorful. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm. he nods and he says, "Do you need to know anything else about fetches?"
Do you think that we should, like, is there anything you think we should know?
Probably. But as he's saying this, you see his eyes go wide. He says, "Police car!" And he, like, goes to hide behind Seraphina.
Did he just, like, sense this, or did he see it on the street?
Yeah, Seraphina looking around would see there is actually, like, it's not obvious to her that it's a police car, but she would see that it is labeled as such as it comes rolling up the street.
Oh, okay.
And he would say, "I bet they're looking for me."
Okay. Stay behind me.
Basalt, actions you would like to take. Other things you're trying to get off the tremor sense, and if not, what from here?
I think I have enough to say to my teammates, I think there's a way down, around the side, to the back.
And would Seraphina and Totoy follow suit if he started moving?
Yep.
Has the police car gone by?
No. It's still a little ways away. It's not going particularly fast.
So I do have a kite shield.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to, like, use that as cover for the kid?
It obviously is going to stand out awkwardly in a different way, but if you want to, if you would beckon Cleven over, he would happily take cover behind it. And
like holding it out.
Yeah, the blockhouse does have like a little garden with, and it does have like a little walk path around it, so you can start looping around the building and out of sight of the police car.
You just gotta make the gesture and just start walking with Cleven.
Yep, absolutely. And as the two of you are going, would Totoy follow with them?
Yes, yep. Totoy would follow. He would want to be next to Cleveland.
Yep. And Seraphina, would you do likewise?
Yeah, since the if Cleven is with Basalt now, I would follow them.
Yep, absolutely. Though I will say, as you guys are starting to go around the corner with Seraphina bringing up the tail end, she would actually hear from the police car a voice call, "Excuse me!"
Oh, yeah, I'll turn back and head over.
And you see that the police officer inside gives like a polite wave of his hand. He pulls out his badge.
Yes, officer.
He says, "Good day to you, ma'am. Officer Dorset, badge number 39512. And he gestures to the blockhouse. He says, "I assume you're Augur. I just wanted to let you guys know that we're on lookout for a missing child." And he like points after Basalt and Totoy, and he says, "Wouldn't be surprised if it's one of yours, one of that sort. But we really need to keep an eye out for him. His parents are worried sick."
Yeah. I'll check with HQ and see if they've got one that was around, and we'll send word over to you. So
Thank
you
you
can
very
reassure
much.
the
Yeah.
parents.
We've also done direct radio to the blockhouse here, just trying to run some sort of perimeter. We've been following. He's just a kid. He doesn't have any way of like concealing his tracks, so we know he's around here somewhere. Just keep an eye out, all right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll find him in no time.
He says, "All right. Best of luck with whatever you guys do." Sorry.
Best you don't know. All right, have a good one.
He rolls up his window manually and, looking kind of nervous, drives away in his car.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. Just like, didn't even have to take my glasses off. And goes back to follow the rest of them.
And she would get around to the back of the building, catching up with Totoy, Basalt, and Cleven. The back of the blockhouse does have, like a little like rear congregation area that seems to be like a little porch that juts out from it. There's a staircase leading up to that, and then a door in through, and then there's also a ground floor door that goes in as well. You don't see any posted sentries or anything outside. There's no security cameras, not that Basalt would necessarily know what that is. But as you guys are coming into this back area of the building, what would Basalt want to do?
Yeah, looking around, trying to like mentally map where the way down would be. If need be, using another tap of my hammer on the ground to reactivate tremor sense.
Yep, absolutely. And from this back entrance, like the ground story back entrance you found, the way down would be just in there and like right to the side. You'd be almost right in front of it when you went through this door.
All right. And anyone behind the door?
You do not detect any movement directly behind the door, though you do feel a little bit of movement, like a little ways in to this first floor. Maybe one set of footsteps.
All right. Hand to the doorknob. Presumably it's a doorknob. Just try and like turn it. Is it open?
Nope.
Or is it locked? Locked. Keyhole?
Yep.
All right. The hammer down for a second. Reach into like a pocket of his dungarees and pull out his prima materia.
Yeah.
Kind of spinning it in my hands a little bit to lengthen it.
Yep.
And then use it as a lockpick.
And as it slides in and kind of smoothly contours to the tumblers. Excuse me. I'm getting a knock at the door. Which little critter is that? Oh, it's the wife critter. What's up, lady? Are you okay?
Yeah, I am. I just wanted
The wife critter.
and also, I'd like us to see a plate of garbanzo bean and bok choy.
Please, I would love a plate. Not entirely.
Why did I give him a gun? My goodness.
I don't
That
know what
is,
you
yeah,
Oh.
that is
What could go wrong?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep, I love you
Problem
very
is
much.
you were just too cool as Crow.
Pardon me, it was not the little critter expected. All right, back we are. What the hell was I saying? Yeah, so as you were doing so, Totoy, actions you would like to take. Basalt is fiddling with the door. Cleven is fiddling with his lunchbox and kind of like flipping the handle back and forth to make like a song like da 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 da, that sort of thing. What would Totoy want to do?
Ooh, with my plus to the spirit, I'm looking at Cleveland. Does he seem scared or really oddly calm?
He's nervous for sure, but
Okay.
it's kind of, it seems like he's getting used to the nerves, if that makes sense. You know when you've been nervous about something for a long time and eventually it just kind of becomes background noise? It seems like he is nervous but used to it.
Got it. Got it. So why is Splotch your favorite?
And he says, Spotcher? No, this is Smudge, silly. And-
Smudge! That's what I said!
No, it's not what you said. You said Spotcher. I heard
Uh-huh! Nuh-uh!
you. Yeah, you just said uh-huh.
And then Totoy like kicks his like foot on the ground like nuh-uh!
He says, "Oh, it's all right. You don't gotta be mad. It's just a name. And Spotcher isn't a bad name. I just like Smudge. And here's the reason I like him. You know what?" He kind of leans
Why?
in and says conspiratorially, "Because he's very funny and he says the word heck sometimes."
It's a bad word!
Hmm?
Totoy just begins giggling now. It's like, oh, I'm in the in club now. He says heck. Ooh.
Cleveland starts giggling as well, and this is the point where Seraphina comes around the corner. Basalt has nearly got the door figured out, though she doesn't necessarily know that. She just sees the other two giggling like gremlins.
Seraphina looks concernedly at the two children bonding. And, like, this cannot be good. But then walks over to, since they're occupied, she walks over to Basalt and, okay, is it Basalt? Basalt?
It's Basalt. I just fucked it up. It's my fault.
Basalt, okay. She walks over to Basalt and just says low, like, so the little ones don't hear. The police have set up a perimeter. They're looking pretty hard for him, and they've already called the people inside here. So there may be high suspicion.
And at this point, the lock would click.
All right. Now, activating my goggles.
Yep.
To take a peek through the door before I open it.
And a good thing, too, there's a receptionist desk just beyond it. There's no one walking there, but you can see there's a lady in a big blonde perm who's tippity-typing away at a typewriter in the immediate eye line of the door. You can also see that just beyond her is another strange set of doors. Basalt would not necessarily be able to identify what they are, but a modern set of eyes would not recognize them to be an elevator, though admittedly an older, timey, clunky one.
There's someone inside.
Okay, hang on a minute. And I would like to pull out of my book bag a company organization structure, like, map for Augur.
Ooh, yeah, I'll give it to you.
Like, yeah. And try to see if I can find a name of a female that seems important enough to be able to walk into a place, but not so high that I would expect the receptionist to know we're on site.
Yep. And this would be Senior Field Resource Manager Deborah Brown.
Deborah Brown. Fantastic. All right. So I'll look that up, put it back in my bag, and go, okay, I'm gonna go in first. The rest of you follow my lead, okay? I'm gonna make sure that Totoy's paying attention too.
How would you make
Totoy
sure that
goes-
Totoy is paying attention?
Well, Totoy is, but he misreads what you're saying. Like, I'm gonna go in first, and he goes, okay, and then he holds his gun at the ready.
Okay, no. Okay, we're not. Okay, hang on a second. Totoy, how would you feel about riding in my bag for a minute?
Ooh, I don't know. Looks at your bag. How big is it?
It is a large book satchel, like a messenger bag, but bigger.
Okay. Does it look like it's weighed down with books? Like, is it like very obviously heavy, or is it like it's just big?
Just big. Like there's a few things in it, but it's not stuffed.
Okay. And then looks back at Cleveland. You can't follow me in here. You're too big. And he says this in kind of like a whiny
Yeah.
kind of voice.
And Cleveland says, no, the door isn't too big. I can get through that door.
No, I have to go in the bag now.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to go in the bag. I like it here.
I like it there too. And then looks, only the head turns up to look at Seraphina.
Yeah.
So I'll bend down and open up the bag so that Totoy can like climb in easily.
Okay, he's a good boy, and he'll, very like be kind of dramatic about like he doesn't want to do this, but he's gonna do it. And then he's like, "I'm in the bag now."
Thank you. Okay, remember not to talk until we get you back out. It's just to get you past the desk, okay?
He whispers.
Oh, you're getting noise gated.
I knew what you were going for, though. And Cleven would kind of pack up his lunchbox into his little backpack and kind of trot up to stand kind of next to Seraphina, like a little bit awkwardly close to her in the way that kids do.
Yep.
And with children wrangled, follow-ups from Seraphina, would she be giving Basalt a go-ahead or something else or what?
Yeah, we would be ready to go in now.
Who would be taking point in? Would he be opening the door and going in first, or would he be letting her go in first?
I think Seraphina said she wanted to go in first.
Cool.
Stepping back for the moment, let her in.
Yep. And assuming she just pushes open the door and strides right in, I'm just going to go on a tremendous limb and say that Seraphina is trying to project confidence here.
Oh yeah.
Yep. What's your spirit
Definitely
stat?
look like she belongs. +3.
Oh, that's awesome. Really useful spirit stat here. And as she would push open the door, she would see the blonde permed woman look up at her and seem like maybe a little curious. There's like again off of the spirit set, you can see that she immediately doesn't recognize you, right? And it's maybe not suspicious, but is surprised. She says, Hello, how can I help you today?
Good morning. No, just bring another child in.
He says, oh, all right. Do we need to get a team ready for you?
No, I've got my team with me. We'll deal with this one ourselves. No need to bother anyone.
Okay. Are you sure? You want me to
Yeah,
radio in? I can get a receiving team ready for you.
yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna prep this one myself.
Right. Can I get your badge, please?
Mm-hmm. Um, oh joy. I'm going. Actually, no, I'm not. I am going to use one of my new abilities. I am going to use Catalog
Mhm.
and use my perk Read You Like a Book, which means that it will apply to a person instead of objects.
Ooh. And with the catalog activation, what do you want to try to organize here? And what's going to be your paired action for it?
I am going to look like I am like going to pull out a badge that I do not actually have.
Mm. And what are
Um,
you trying to get this catalog to do?
I need a badge number
Excellent. Uh,
from her brain.
and as you are doing so, I'm guessing this would be rather a subtle cataloging. Is this true?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. And in this case, you would get rather a large badge number, and the catalog wouldn't be able to give you much, maybe like one other piece of information on top of this. Um,
Mhm.
and it is FR 10209.
All right. There's not a chance in hell that that's actually Deborah Brown's badge number, is it?
Correct. And yet,
Okay.
what would you want to do?
I'll look like I'm going to fumble through the bag, activating catalog, and then be like, oh, for crying out loud. I left it home, but it's FR 10209.
And she says, "Oh, all right. Let me just check the database. All right." And her like long acrylic nails go tickety tacketying away for a
Click, click,
moment.
click, click. Yep.
As she's doing so, Basalt, besides looking imposing and cool, what would you like to be doing?
I think he would actually somewhat surreptitiously, like, take one of his circling stones and just kind of have it hovering in his hand, ready to fling it at this poor woman's head if this goes poorly.
Yeah. The and I will note, Basalt would also catch Cleven staring at the stone in utter fascination. He's standing politely off to the side and is kind of out of the woman's sightline because of the overlook of her desk. But eventually, she says, "Oh yeah, yeah, I got you here. All right, you're good to go. Where do you need to head? Do you need to get downstairs?"
Yeah.
He says, "All right, let me get the lift up for you." And she would
Dang.
do a couple little tic tacs on like a little panel on the side and pull down like a fire alarm looking level. And Basalt would be the main one who would kind of register the lift kind of moving up the shaft, like the faint rumble that it sends through the building. She says, "You can just stand right there. It takes a moment to get here."
Okay, thank you, dear.
And she gives a little pleasant smile and goes back to typing away, clickety clack. And the elevator is just like 3 paces away from you. Cleven is already moving towards it, wanting to follow directions.
Yep.
Actions from Seraphina and Basalt.
I'll be heading over to that, trying not to let Cleveland get more than like arm's reach away from me, basically, in case we need to book. Can we also say that I paid very close attention to how she called the elevator in case we need that again on the way out?
Absolutely. Intelligence stat.
+3.
Easy. Yep. And Basalt, actions you would like to take as Seraphina is accompanying Cleven off to the side.
Yep. Yeah, definitely not letting Cleveland get too far. Since this is now we're in enemy territory as far as Basalt is concerned.
Yeah.
And yeah, just getting to the elevator shaft, maybe putting his hand out to feel the vibrations and kind of lending that to the tremor sense to kind of pick up whatever he picks up from the foundations.
Yeah. And something you would note, I don't know if Basalt has ever interacted with concrete before. But the majority of the building's construction is concrete. And I could see it being rather an unconventional surface for him, right? It carries vibrations very well, and it's solid, but it obviously is made of all those teeny little particulates that are more defined than that would make up stone. So it's an interesting texture for him. And maybe it might even be a little bit like, I don't think he's the kind of jump, but maybe like when the elevator gets like a little ding, and slides open. Now, at the same time, Totoy, in the bag, how are you going to not muck about?
Great question, because I have a question for you. I am technically in a librarian's book bag.
That's
It is
true.
not my item, but can I use it?
Ooh, talk me through it.
I am seeing this as an opportunity to get learned, and I want to find a comic book of Smudge, so that
Smudge.
now I too can have Smudge as my favorite character because he says heck.
That is an absolutely
adorable.
perfect paired action. I was hoping you could say that. And he would
Yes.
find a Smudge the Dog comic. The best way I can describe Smudge the Dog is imagine, I don't know if you have like read Sunday Funnies, right? I spent a good chunk of my life reading them. Imagine if like Family Circus or one of those like wildly tame, boring ass, like all American comic strips actually could be funny once in a while. And that is the tone of Smudge the Dog.
I love it. Growing up, I read Calvin and Hobbes. Now, it was one of the first things that my dad got when he immigrated here to the U.S. And so when I eventually came to the U.S., I'm like, ooh, look at the drawings. I read them. I had no idea what they meant until I was way older.
Right.
So I imagine the sensation is kind of like that. But now with my two luck, what are the chances that I come across the word heck, but I don't laugh out loud
Oh,
and
what's your
ruin
will?
everything?
What is your will stat?
+2.
Okay, yes, you can stop yourself laughing, though it might require like keeping your little nutcracker shut. Like
Good.
like a yeah, exactly. And yes, I think that Totoy could sound out the word heck. I'm okay with
Yes.
that. And
Now he knows how to spell heck. This is great.
and as Totoy is becoming wildly cultured, the other two, are you guys going to be getting onto the elevator? Again, Basalt would not have seen such a thing before, but he felt it rumble up, and it's obviously a vessel that would probably bear them back down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he'd be familiar enough with the lift, having seen like Arcanotech stuff.
Nice.
I think he would be somewhat interested in the concrete. Using Earth Shapers, how easy is it to work it?
Effortless.
Wonderful. Just like crumbling some of it in my hands.
And as
Just
you are
beach.
boarding the lift, Seraphina, other actions you would like to take before presumably ushering Cleve in aboard?
I don't think I would. I mean, I would just like look around and start to try to get a sense of the building, like layout, like any hallways or anything that we can see.
Yep.
But other than that, I am genuinely waiting for this lift.
Yep. And as you,
I think she's probably seen lifts before, just more like
Steampunky.
old-timey ones. Yeah, more steampunky ones.
And as she would get aboard, she would hear the receptionist say, "When you're down below and you need to get back up, just ring there's a little marking down there. There's a little bell marking. Just ring that and then I'll have it come for you, okay?"
10-4.
And you hear like her pull that little crank, that little fire alarm shaped thing that she pulled to call it, and the lift door closes. There's no buttons inside of it. It's entirely operated from her desk. And it starts to descend. And in this moment of claustrophobic elevatorness, with your ears slightly popping, you're not going that far down, but there's like a substantial pressure shift as you descend. Actions from here. You guys are obviously alone for the moment.
I'll open the top of the bag so that Totoy can at least stick his head out.
Yep. Totoy has his comic.
Yes, he's reading. He's so engrossed in reading that he doesn't notice that the bag is open.
That he
Like
can
you
now
see him
see.
every now and he's like reading, and then he's like,
Cleveland looks curious and sticks his head in and says, "Oh, I love that one. That's the one where they go to Lake Muckety Muck."
yeah. And then before that, they went camping. But then he got lost, and then he met the bear.
Yeah, I remember that one too. And as Cleveland like almost sticks his whole head like into the bag to get a better look at it, other actions that Seraphina would like to take.
Can I get my scanner out and try to get a sense of who's like in the immediate vicinity when we get down there?
Yep, you can have it at the ready. And
Yeah.
Basalt, any actions you would like to take?
None in particular. He would just be feeling rather pleasant. Going underground is like going home to him.
Yep. He would also probably have a very good sense of the pressure shifting. It's not uncomfortable for him. It's not uncommon. It's just like it's an interesting touch, an interesting bit of decor. But as he does so, he would feel the elevator slow, and then a little ding as the door slides open. I just saw that comment. That was awesome. And with Seraphina's scanner at the ready, is she immediately going to flip it on?
Yes.
Yep. And as she does so, I don't know what it looks like or what sound it makes, if any. But the light of the scanner would illuminate two things. First of all, upstairs, it looked rather like an old-timey police station. Beautiful architecture, relatively simple, mostly going for functionality, and has this kind of like vintage charm to it, right? Under here, however, is completely different. Again, this looks like, again, think World War II era crack military science facility. And so it had 1970s sort of tech in like a 1940s sort of region. As you're like looking about and firing off the scanner, you immediately notice two things. For one, there is a strange device on the ceiling that's kind of circling into place. It looks kind of like one of those like masked security cameras you see at the supermarket. The other thing that you would notice, because again the scanner is revealing things not normally visible to the naked eye, is you would see, how would I describe this? You would see what look like little scraps of crayon markings all over the walls, but only visible when you light with the scanner.
Can I get any read on what they actually are?
Sensory?
Nothing.
Yeah, in that case, she wouldn't be able to quite make out the words unless she were to come out, especially because they're not spelled particularly neatly. That said, the strange thing in the ceiling is starting to slow as it kind of like stops in place, and you can see what looks kind of like a lens or something focusing towards the elevator.
Do you still have the bag open?
Yeah, bag would be open.
Totoy is like full on reading and laughing at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Cleveland has stopped reading when the elevator door opened and stuck his head back out. Actions from Basalt as the door opens and it reveals this entry hallway into this rather elaborate complex. I should note the hallways are narrow and fork almost immediately, so you don't get a long sight down them.
Probably kind of step forward into the like doorway of the lift, shield up, kind of just surveying to see if there's anything gonna come for us.
Yeah, he sees the thing rotating in the ceiling. Though the other thing he would notice is that the floor, walls, and ceiling in this area are all made out of concrete.
That's comforting, at least. He does not have any intelligence, so he's not going to know what to make of this device. So he's just debating. He'll probably even ask, should I smash it?
And Seraphina, responses to that, because I'm guessing Totoy doesn't have much to say in that regard.
I can't. Can I scan the camera?
And yeah, and scanning up towards it, you can see that as it is like shifting into position, it is emitting a faint invisible like laser or guide, right? And as it's kind of flicking up into position, its little laser is going on to Basalt's kite shield and is like scanning along it.
It seems to be assessing threats. I think smashing it might be a bad idea, but don't drop your guard. I'm
Walking
gonna,
forward.
yeah, I'm gonna quietly put the cover back over Totoy for now.
Yep.
And just go shh, and put that back over.
Cleven nods and kind of again hugs against your leg uncomfortably.
Cleven, which way is Crackle? Can you tell?
Let me think. Left. No, that's not left. Right.
Right. Okay. Maybe just point.
And you would hear a little chirp from the device on the stand, like a and the scanner isn't currently active at the very moment, so you can't see if it does anything, but it seems to still be trying to get a bead on you guys, though it's focused entirely on Basalt's kite shield.
Right. I am going to use my rock maul, like head up, tap the shaft of it down onto the ground.
Yep.
As an activation for Geomorph, I want just a section of wall or ceiling rather to like come down and block the camera.
Absolutely doable. And you hear another kind of irritable little from the thing again, and then followed up with another immediate and it just gets stuck in that loop.
Try to sneak past.
And the camera doesn't change direction. Are you guys going to be taking the right hallway at this Y fork?
Yes.
Again, the hallways here are tight and twisting, with filing cabinets and heavy boxes out on every side, and doors lining either side, not like super tight, but reasonably spaced. Up ahead, it takes a sharp left, and as you hit that left, it takes another sharp right almost immediately thereafter. You pass by a water cooler that looks like it hasn't been changed in a couple years. As you move on to this next section of hallway, it tees up ahead, left and right once again. But also, it would be at this point that Basalt is the first to hear footsteps down the hallway on the left-hand side of the T. The only way to not be in sight would be to go back around the corner you came from.
Like, hold up a hand. Footsteps up ahead.
Responses from Seraphina, if any.
I would stop. Like, you're trying to signal us to stop, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Signaled, and then like footsteps ahead. Should we? Is there like you said the only way to not be seen is backtrack?
Unless you want to try one of the doors. There's one close to you on the left and a little farther on the right. And there is junk in the hallway, but not really enough to tuck your bodies behind.
All right. Safety goggles have a low cooldown.
You have it.
So yeah, just take a peer through the door. Is it clear?
The door on the left, the one that is closest to you, seems to be a supply closet, and it is completely clear.
This way. Go to the closet, open the door.
Yep. It's a sliding door. And after fiddling with it in a moment, Basalt can get it. Would Seraphina go in right away?
Yeah.
Yep. And would Basalt join afterwards?
Yep. Shuffle Cleven in.
Yep. And Cleven says in a loud whisper, "If we get caught, are we going to get arrested?"
No.
No.
Oh. Are we going to die?
No, certainly not.
Okay.
At the word die, Totoy from the bag goes, "No!"
I would like bend down and let Totoy out of the bag.
Just kind of like falls onto the ground and then picks himself up. He's no longer holding the comic, but he's gotten his fill, and he is a certified #1 fan now.
Quite, yes. Smudge the dog acquires another loyal reader. That said,
Yes.
as Totoy stumbles out, Cleven would reach over and pluck out the comic he had been reading and tuck it into his own backpack.
Mhm.
And after he does so, he suddenly realizes and says, "Can I borrow this?"
Yes, you can. Seraphina had like stiffened up when he grabbed it out, but being asked, that's okay.
Quite.
Oh.
You guys would hear the faint sounds of the footsteps pass right by the supply closet. And then they fade out of view again.
I'm gonna look around the supply closet. Is there anything like techie in here, or is this like mops and buckets?
It's lit by one nasty incandescent bulb, and it seems to be mostly a combination of office supplies, cleaning supplies, and some random odds and ends. For example, a bunch of old jugs for the water cooler.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but nothing technical or like particularly useful.
As she's poking around, there is some interesting stuff. It mostly seems to be kind of components. That you might find in an office supply closet. Only other thing I'd say that she would notice is that there is, and she'd be able to read it because it is labeled here. There is a fire alarm in here.
Ah. Oh, fantastic. I will definitely point that out to everyone and be like, if we end up running or having to try to get away or cause a distraction, we should pull this.
Or if there's a fire.
Yes, or if there's a fire.
And as Seraphina is poking around, Basalt, follow us from you, or are you just keeping on listen and sliding open the door when the footsteps are past?
That's the main plan.
Yep. And then sliding open the door, Cleven would stick his head out between Basalt's legs and say, "I think we're close. I think we're quite close."
Great, which way is he?
Down. He points down to the T you were moving towards, and then left.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
And
are you going in front?
You're making your way out. Is Totoy going to be like following up with the rest?
Yes, he will be following, and he will not bring up that he is not in the bag because he does not want to go back in.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Yes, I'm coming."
And as you make your way down this hallway and you take a turn, you would see that the T cuts off into a doorway with like what's the term? A frosted glass that's at the front, and it's a substantially heavier doorway that does seem to be locked if Basalt would try it.
Locked.
And Cleven would say helpfully, "Through here and to the right, I think."
Okay.
There'd be a sudden squawk of an intercom. That would be quite sudden and a bit loud and definitely make Cleven jump and maybe some others besides. And you hear after a little bit of like mic feedback, like, you know what I mean? You would hear a voice, "Attention, personnel. Interference recorded with immediate entryway, southwestern side detection unit. All hands, all eyes."
Okay, we should move quickly. Can you do that thing with the door again?
Could try. Hammer down. Prima materia out.
Yep. And as you go to start working it, you realize that this one doesn't have a keyhole. It has a pin pad.
Hell yes. In which case, Seraphina will step up, crack her knuckles, be like, "I got this one."
Yep.
Can I see? I imagine this is a somewhat old school keypad
Very
with like
old school.
actual numbers on it.
Yep. Completely.
Is it
analog.
old enough to have like worn numbers on any of them?
Not to the degree where your eyes could pick it out.
Okay, I'll try with my scanner.
The scanner reveals it almost instantly. It's not even a hard code. It's like the 3 is most worn, and then followed by the 1 and the 0, which are equally worn.
Okay. So I'll try combinations with like 2 3s.
Yep.
And a 1 and a 0.
And after typing away at this for like less than 10 seconds, she gets the right combination, 3103. And you hear a little clink, and then Basalt's able to slide open the door. Would he do so immediately?
Goggles?
And looking through, the room beyond is a little bigger. It has kind of the feel of like a laboratory, but instead of, big frickin' test tubes or holding tanks or whatever the hell, it instead has kind of like an audio mixing interface where there's like waveform monitors and there's like big like record making machines and like button filled interfaces and things all about, not to mention racks upon racks upon racks of storage. And you do see people inside, 2 sitting at desks, one of whom is moving over to like a far door on the far side, and a 4th besides, who is kind of loitering over near some of the racks of storage, stroking her chin.
So again, kind of holding the hand up. There's several inside. They do not look like warriors.
We should probably... can you see if there's another one of those scanner things in the ceiling?
And with his goggles looking up, yeah, there's 3 of them.
Several.
I have an idea. And I'm going to bend down to Totoy and go, okay, Totoy, do you think you could do a super big important mission for us?
Yeah!
Okay. Do you think you could sneak into that room and grab the cassette?
You point to the room, right?
Yeah, like
And
if we
I
open
take
this
it that
door.
the Enclave would have shown what a cassette looks like.
They would have shown you what the discs roughly look like. Yep. That said, they did not say what specifically Crackle's one would look like. They don't know, or at least they weren't able to find out in time.
Does I would say Cleveland, do you know what his cassette looks like? What Crackle's cassette looks like?
He shakes his head, looking scared. He says, "No, but I think I could tell if I touched it."
Okay. She looks up at Basalt and goes, okay, yeah, we may have to just beat these people up at this point.
As she is saying this,
No, I can do it. I
Well,
can do
you
it.
can
He
still, you can still help.
Totoy feels his helpfulness slipping away.
No. You're still gonna help Cleveland get it. We're just gonna help deal with the other people.
Oh,
I thought we could do this
okay.
sneaky, but we may not be able to.
Do you need this? And he takes out his wooden gun and like offers it to to Seraphina.
Oh no, sweetie, I don't do that. That's what I work with people like Basalt for.
Have a gun.
As you guys are saying this, by the way, you would hear down the other direction of this T intersection around a corner, rapid footsteps approaching your location. You hear them kind of clicking into earshot. So they're still a little ways away, but they are coming quick.
Okay.
I'm not fast.
Is it between us and the fire alarm supply closet?
So if you're at one side of a T intersection, they're coming from the other side of the T intersection. The fire alarm was down the trunk of the T, so it would be kind of cutting you off pretty much as soon as it came into view.
Okay, I'm gonna try this anyway. I'm gonna tell Basalt, you help Cleveland try to get to the tape. I'm going to try to be a distraction.
Nods.
Okay. And Seraphina's going to take off to try to make it to the supply closet. Not running, but just like walking with purpose, still trying to project that confidence.
Yep, moving swiftly. It sounds like my children are breaking something. Nice. Mama's on the case. Okay.
It's Cleveland.
Oh God, not with the crackle, please. And Basalt, what are you going to be doing?
Remind me again, how many people were there?
Inside, 4 that you could see.
Or roughly grouped together, or you said there like
Spread
2
out.
were sitting at a
Yeah, there's
okay.
2 sitting at like at screen interfaces, but they're kind of separate, and then the other 2 are quite far apart from them.
All right. Yeah, I don't think there's too much time to think about this, so Basalt is just going to be a man of action here. Sparta kick the door open.
Yep.
And then charge in, like shield up, hammer sort of behind, clock where the cameras are.
Yep.
And I'm gonna like swing back with my hammer, slam down onto the ground as an activation of Geomorph using my perk Womp, which incorporating the rock maul increases the scope as effectively as a prolonged paired action.
Sick.
So imagine, right, a big mallet smashing concrete. It's going to make sort of like a cavity, right? I want the shards of that to be replicated to smash the cameras.
That's awesome. Like prongs of concrete, like launching up to slam into the cameras. And as Basalt kicks open the door with an almighty clang, Basalt has high might, if I recall correctly, right?
3.
3? Yeah, oh yeah. Shit. This door folds. Totoy would hear Cleve and go, wow, as he kind of like waits for a moment just in awe watching, especially after the concrete ruptures up. He's, wow! And he like looks at Totoy and says, he doesn't even have a fetch!
No, he's really strong because he's an Enclave agent, and I'm an Enclave agent like him, and so I'm really strong too.
And Cleven looks at Totoy with what Totoy can tell with his spirit stat is profound new respect.
He like as best as he can like tries to like puff up his chest, so it just ends up him like leaning back a bit. Now question, Basalt, would Basalt tell Totoy or Cleveland what to do, or are you like, I got this?
I think normally he probably would have at least said, like, stay here, but given that there were, like, footsteps coming, things are happening, I think he might have just kind of skipped out on it that time, just assuming the kids will stay behind, right?
Very good. Very excellent. Awesome. Now, Totoy, seeing this newfound respect, takes his wooden gun, and imagine this puppet. its jaw is down, it's just running in with this toy gun, like pointing at everyone.
I'm picturing like the Kermit the Frog like jaw on it. Yay!
Exactly.
Now, as Totoy comes rushing in, Basalt, camera's taken out. The workers inside are yelling, and one says, "Get the thing! Turn it on quick!" And you can see that one of the guys, the one who was like starting to move off towards the records area, the place where all the storage is kept, whips around, and you can see that he pulls out what could only be described by our eyes as a Walkman, right? And you can see that he quickly like snaps it shut, presses it, and like tucks it behind his back, as you can see the air in front of him billow and materialize as a fetch blooms into view. It's big. It's like 7 foot tall with a gorilla-like posture. And you would see that it is somewhere between like, how to describe this? Like a human and a rhino in terms of its appearance, with steely skin, except all of its limbs are on these great long coils. And as it kind of comes into place, you can see that one of these great coil arms like throws a punch your way as a massive, like a wrecking ball fist comes like springing across the room in your direction.
Bracing myself with Horatius and holding the shield up to try to absorb the hit, and if it looks springy, he's worked with springs before, so trying to see if he can like absorb enough of it to build up the kinetic energy to throw it back.
Nice. And as the fist comes like whipping out, resilience stat on Basalt.
3.
Nice. Great. That's awesome. This thing hits like a fucking truck. But between your kite shield and your resilience stat and the fact that you have it on an angle, it clangs up and immediately snaps back towards the fetch's arm. After this immediate blow, what would be your instant follow-up?
Charging forward, actually trying to get an angle on the operator.
Yep. As soon as you start rushing forward and trying to take that angle, however, the fetch immediately, on its shorter, admittedly, but still springified legs, would quickly shuffle into place and throw another punch at you, this one lower. That would scrape along the ground and rip a gouge out of the concrete.
Ooh. All right.
Jump.
As it's coming towards me, yeah, I kind of want to like jump up and slam down with my hammer.
Sure. Vigor reflex?
Vigor 1 reflex base.
Cool. All right. In that case, as you kind of like get a little bit of air, the fist would clip your foot, and though it would not break anything, fortunately, it would send you kind of a kilter in midair. Are you still going to try to slam on the coil as you are like being redirected? Yep. As you slam down, it hits the spring hard and pins it against the ground, but now the fist is recoiling back towards you.
Yeah. I almost want to do like a what's it, limbo? You know, kind of like falling backwards, more likely than not. But hopefully it not eating it completely.
Does Basalt have any body armor?
Nope. Not yet.
That is a big ow. It
Just
catches
shield.
you. Yeah, it catches you clean in the chin. And as it does so, Basalt is like sent sprawling onto the ground. But before we go further, Totoy, as Basalt is springing to action, and the fetch is like mobilized in front of him, you would hear Cleveland say, Hey, that's Twang! They stole him! They stole him from Logan! I know the boy who that fetch belongs to!"
Hearing this, Totoy takes his gun and then points it towards Twang and the adult man's direction, right? And yells, "Give back Twang!" Now, here is my arcane manifestation pitch. Are you ready, Robbie?
Please.
Imagine if you will.
I will.
Totoy is a toy puppet. He is essentially a toy that was made for the joy of children, at least that's his essence. In particular, he was made to be the companion / quote-unquote dream of his particular creator. He's not a fetch, but you gotta admit, that's very fetch-ish,
That's close, yes.
right? Very fetchish. And so, while normally only fetches can affect other fetches, even if I don't necessarily damage Twang, I would like to pitch that Totoy copies Crow's movement, points the gun, and then mimics the recoil by like going pew, makes a sound effect himself, and that actually shoots some sort of force towards Twang, even if it doesn't necessarily hurt them. At the very least, it does actively affect them.
Absolutely. Arcane stat?
+2.
And is the wooden gun a common item or a reskin?
It is a common item.
Excellent. and you say he makes like a little pew noise or something as he does it. Awesome. And as he does so, he would fire a cartoony bullet bill looking MF across the room. And it would hit into Twang's heavy metal plated body and kind of stick there quivering like an arrow, even though that's absolutely not what bullets do. And you would see that Twang kind of looks and would forcibly retract his spring arm. This would send Basalt's like a rock ball flying across the room. And fortunately, Basalt is far enough away that it wouldn't like rip. I don't know if you've seen like steel springs in industrial settings. Those things are terrifying. And the force with which he
Absolutely
like
terrifying.
recoils himself could easly have ripped off a limb or something from Basalt if it was too close. And as the great fetch kind of turns towards Totoy, Cleven would say, "No, no, 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 no," and would like jump in the way of Totoy. Twang, you can't do that. Come on. You're better than this, aren't you? Please. And Twang would unleash a punch.
You mother father. God, Totoy, please.
While you are considering, however, we're going to jump back over to Seraphina and then to Basalt. But first, Seraphina, not knowing at all what the hell is happening besides clanging and yelling, she would have moved at speed down back along that hallway she had come up from and over to the supply closet. Getting inside immediately, I am guessing. Yep.
No, actually, I am
Excellent.
going to try to catch the people first.
Yep. In that case, are you going to be heading them off, or are you going to be like
Yes.
waiting at the supply closet?
No, I'm going to try heading them off.
Perfect. In that case, easily done. Rounding the corner that you heard the footsteps coming from, you can see that there are 2 Augur members. You can see that they're both dressed in like crispy military uniforms, all sleek and cool and brutalist looking. But as they're kind of marching up, you can see that one of them up in front holds up a hand, and she says, "Halt! Declare yourself."
Yes, Senior Field Resource Manager Deborah Brown.
And she says, "Really?" And she says, "SFR Brown, I've never seen you in the flesh before. What brings you here? Do you have any eyes on..." And then you would hear the clanging and screaming. She's like, "Oh, God."
Yes, don't worry. I'm going to pop fun fact here. No. You were all notified earlier this month that one of the days this month would be a full drill. And that you would not know which day it was in advance. Thank you very much for your promptness. I am here to tell you that that is all that's going on here, and you have to let the rest of the department that is dealing with the live drill finish handling that so that we can finish the evaluation.
And as you do so, this is one of those times when having scholarly raiment is really, really nice.
Yes.
And as you look towards the 2, they pause. Her hand is still there. She kind of looks over her shoulder towards the other guy. You see that he kind of like reaches towards hip. And instead of a gun, you see he's holding a Walkman looking device there. And she says, "Well, thank you for informing us, SFR Brown. Are you saying that we are all dismissed?"
Yes.
There's more
you're all
clanging
dismissed.
and yelling. And she says, "You're quite sure?"
Absolutely. This evaluation has been overdue, so they're being a little pressed on their abilities with the new recruits.
And she looks very nervous about this. The guy with the Walkman looking thing would say, "Oh, excuse me. Yes?"
I'm sorry. Are you at a point where you can take a very quick mental health break for the sake of your wife?
Do you need me for a moment?
I just need to.
Are you frustrated? Here, I'll be right back. I need to assist the frustrated wife. Terribly sorry. Be right back.
Of course. I am sweating bullets right now.
Wait, guys, remind me. It was said in the mission statement that fetches cannot hurt children, right? The kid is fine, right?
Yes.
Guys?
Yes.
Probably.
I mean, fetch controlled by adults.
Well,
That
they're
might
also
change
not
the
supposed to
rules.
be. Yeah, they're also not supposed to be wielded by adults. So brave new world.
Exactly. God. Oh man. Are you familiar with vessels, Lacara?
Well, this is my first time getting to see one in action. I'm so excited.
Oh, okay. In that case, let me just remind you that With a vessel on the team, you actually have access to a fourth ability, Insidious Whispers. This is an ability that you can use yourself, using your essence. Learn a
Oh.
personal secret about another person from an uncanny, disembodied voice. Sharing this secret with others, however, will bring out the worst in them.
Oh. I actually kind of already made this a perk for myself.
Even better.
It's not.
Probably without
It
the
doesn't have the blowback.
corruption part, so
Nice.
Yeah.
which is
Well, that
good.
means you can energy work them together.
Ooh.
I can talk to a demon that tells me about the interpersonal relationships of people in the room with me.
Yes.
Oh man,
Okay.
you're gonna get along with Hemlock.
Oh gosh, she really would. She really would. She's kind to children, and she is not afraid to get her hands dirty for the sake of her goals. He really would like Seraphina.
That sounds great. I will try to get back to that room as soon as I can. I have a few ideas. If you guys
I
are
also have
still alive.
ideas, but they are very much very big ideas.
Oh man, that makes me think. I don't think we've ever done an "Oops, all librarians."
That would
That would be a
be
very
broken.
silly mission.
I have
Oh
not
my.
played a single mission with another librarian yet.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've been on a mission where there was more than one librarian. What kind of mission would the Enclave send more than one librarian on? Because, like, normally one is
Straight
enough.
puzzle mission.
I feel like it would become like a pedant off, basically, of just the two librarians trying to out knowledge each other.
Actually,
Actually,
Yeah.
oh please, that's a really good perk name for a librarian. Actually,
What I desperately wanted to be my more recent perk, but then I realized I was already doing it with my scanner, was a magic shushing ability.
oh,
nice.
Fellow parents of small children, that was a 5-alarm piss into clean laundry.
Oh
oof.
my god.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly call
Wow.
Lee and see if he can come help out with that. God damn. Got like 50 spam calls in the last couple of days. I'm so sorry. Just want to make sure I can make sure Lovey is in a good place.
Of course.
Yeah, take your time.
Ugh, goodness gracious. Here, I'm so sorry. Lee's not picking up. I'm going to go and knock on his door. If you guys could briefly entertain yourselves one more time, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for your patience.
Yep.
Oh, entertaining ourselves. Very easy. So, how did you guys imagine your deaths? By the hands of a little wooden puppet?
I can't imagine a better way to go.
Basil
in
can
the
protect himself, hopefully.
in the colonnade, it says on their gravestone, "Death by temper tantrum." Oh God, it's always very, very likely in every mission. But he's trying so hard to be a real boy, and unfortunately, being a real boy also means having real boy temper tantrums.
If I die at your hands, all I ask is that my last words be, "That's not how you spell heck."
Okay, there we go.
I switched the K and the C, so it's
Yep.
HEKC.
Thank you for your patience. All right. Sorry, didn't make for very good viewing.
Oh.
And it's such a climactic moment. So, where the fuck were we? We were with Seraphina, chatting shit with these two. Yeah, pardon me. So, fun fact off, they're both looking very nervous, very skeptical. And the one with the Walkman thing would say, Brown, don't we need to demonstrate a full response procedure at this point?
Yes, you do, but if you could do that upstairs, it would really help. We need the agents in here to not be distracted. Unless you want some of your cohort to be fired for something that you caused.
They look to each other, and the female agent here would say, "Well, you certainly don't mess around with your job, Brown."
Certainly not. How do you think I got here?
There's another crash and a groaning of metal. It sounds really bad. Are they demonstrating fetch procedure?
Yeah. Hopefully they've trained it properly.
Okay.
I'll see when I go back in there. Where I should be now.
Right. And they turn around and start to move off crisply and efficiently. Follow-ups from Seraphina.
As soon as I see that they are like not gonna do the sheepish look over their shoulder and do a second thoughts, she will book it back into the room where the rest of the team is.
And as she goes sprinting back towards the room, to Totoy and then to Basalt. Totoy, Spring Fist is being launched through the air towards Cleven.
This isn't like lightning bolt fast, right?
No.
There, I have like 1-2 seconds to think or so.
It's fast, but it's still a punch across a room.
Yes. He's gonna be okay. He's a kid. The fist goes, it's gonna be okay. He's a kid. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. He grabs onto Cleven's legs, and even though this will do nothing for the moment, will activate Fill the Void.
And as the shield appears around Cleven, the shield takes the hit. It actually suffers damage. Now, admittedly, judging by the damage you've seen this fist do, this is disproportionate, right? This is hitting less hard than it should, so to speak. But it does, in fact, hit. And Cleven jumps, and you can tell by his posture, he's squinching his eyes shut, and he's tightened up. And he looks up and he says, "Twang, were you going to kill me?" Follow-ups from Totoy as the great fist retracts across the room.
With 2 to spirit, from how Cleven said that, do I get this sense of almost betrayal?
Very.
That a fetch would hurt a child.
Yeah. It's plaintive. It's not like, oh, how dare you? It's like it's like his whole world has shattered more than anything else. And the other thing that you'd pick up with your spirit stat is Twang, who is so heartbroken that it is all he can do to not break down, whatever that looks like for a fetch.
You gotta come back to me. Totoy's feeling a lot of things, none of them positive.
Quite. Basalt, the world is swimming in front of your eyes, and you feel teeth that have fallen to the back of your throat from where they were punched out of your jaw.
Roll around and spit out any that are loose enough. Like, readjust my jaw.
Yeah, it aches to the touch. It's clearly broken.
Just kind of crack it into place if it's out of place.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, presumably seeing the swing coming, I at least have my shield, presumably.
Yeah, you do have your shield. Though I will note that Basalt would vaguely register. One of the other operatives in the room yell out, "Hey, you got a tango! How the hell did he survive that?"
Seeing, yeah, like more people, I'm just gonna fling 2 circling stones at them.
Yep. And as you do so, you see that the first one cracks the guy in the side of the head, the one who yelled. The other one manages to dive under a desk out of the way in time.
Yeah. Back to Twang.
Yep.
Taking a swing yet?
Twang has just pulled back his arm, and his attention is now turned towards Basalt. His big kind of rhino-shaped helmet head glares down with two big, again, cartoonish, like angry eyes looking out of him. You hear him make like a from inside, and you can see that he's, instead of just punching, he starts to, again, on his elbow, right? He's just a big long spring. He starts to windmill up a punch.
I'm just gonna put the shield up in front and start charging full speed, one vigor, so not super fast, but reasonably fast. While I'm doing so, I'm gonna take a deep breath and tense up, activating my stone skin.
Yep.
And yeah, this is a V2 kite shield, which has a knockback, so I'm trying to lead into the knockback using the extra weight from my stone skin to kind of like, Captain America dive into the charge.
Yep, absolutely. Basalt is able to tell the moment that the punch is loosed at him because the whirring, like almost helicopter-like sound of the whirlwind stops for a moment. And the impact that strikes is incredible. Absolutely freaking incredible. 2 questions. 1, do you have any perks on Stone Skin?
Well, 1, which is when it ends, it explodes, sending shards of stone flying out in all directions.
Nice.
That's it.
Excellent. Thank you. I didn't know if that was 1 and then 2. Second thing, what is the hardest hit Basalt has ever taken on a mission? Just off your dome.
I mean, there were some big hits in Sands of Slaughter for sure. There was a mission after that called Rustle the Tussle, where, if I remember correctly, fighting something tank-like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
so probably that.
This impact, I don't know if I can communicate the amount of force that's felt in this, and yet Stone Skin does give an enormous amount of protection, utterly enormous. And
Sweet.
The sound that hits, it's almost like, when like a controlled demolition of a building. Imagine that condensed into one soundbite, just a single clang. And
Oof.
it would hit hard enough that Basalt would, even with his added weight, even with the extra momentum, even with the kite shield, even with everything, he would go skidding backwards across the floor. Skill stat and reflex. Reflex baseline skill.
Both base.
Yep. And in that case, he would go sliding back, and then he would end up on his back, and then crash into another part of the building. But he is, at the very least, doesn't have a hole put through him, and also at the very least, more notably, the stone skin isn't shattered. What is shattered, however, is his shield. That is gone. That is toast. And though Basalt is not able to see it, both Totoy and Seraphina would see what happens. When the gigantic, wound up rocket fist impacts, this is just as Seraphina is entering the room, it would deal incredible damage, send Basalt spinning, but then reflect up into the ceiling, and get embedded in the ceiling almost 6 feet deep, like the solid concrete ceiling.
Nice.
And after a moment of tension on the spring, it doesn't seem like Twang is able to recoil it nearly as effectively. Immediate follow-ups, beginning with Totoy, and then Seraphina as she runs into the room behind.
Totoy is just so overwhelmed with emotion, just really connecting with Cleven's feelings. I want to activate Insidious Whispers and Embrace Darkness at the same time.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. The way I envision it is he begins to do the puppet equivalent of hyperventilating. Just, this is wrong. Even though he's never had a quote-unquote owner himself, there is a part of him that understands that he is a toy, and their duty is the enjoyment of children, and so seeing this absolutely kind of like breaks him in this moment. The insidious whispers that he's targeting, let me know if this is possible, are all of the fetches discs in this room to get an idea of what their name is and who they belong to. This idea being that it's just gonna be this cacophony of fetches voices that are like, I'm so and so, my kid is this, help me, or something along those lines, and then just overwhelmed with these secrets will scream and embrace darkness.
And the insidious whispers, rather than being from one voice, comes in from many, all read in the voices of their children. And it would come in one after another. My name is, for example, Twang. My child is Logan. Please help. And then 5, 10, 15, 20 all come in. If the other thing I would say is that Totoy would start seeing scrawlings on the walls around him. And while he can't exactly read them, he realizes emotionally what they are. They're letters, like you would write to a pen pal, written by children to their fetches, lost and stuck here. The insidious whisper's answer would come in. All fetch discs are in this room. But so too would the overwhelming cacophony of desperate fetches and their desperate children radiate into his mind and drive the Embrace Darkness. What would Embrace Darkness look like at this moment? Give that Seraphina is coming up behind him. She would be the first to see it, besides him screaming.
Let's see. His crossguard, his marionette crossguard. Yes, the thing.
Bar.
Thank you. Raises up to the air, and like strings of like darkness come down and attach themselves onto Totoy, and then they begin to pull, and then like Totoy begins to like splinter, like a toy being destroyed, and each splinter becomes even smaller and smaller, and what kind of becomes, I don't want to make a reference, like a disembodied mass of darkness with like bits of puppet kind of like sticking out, and it will like hold its hand out towards the discs where the fetches are being held, with the intention that coming from the disc would be an ooze that represents the fetches trapped in there.
And as you start to do so, however, there would be one other thing I will do before we jump to Seraphina, which is that a clear voice with intent behind it would radiate in Totoy's mind as Cleven actually speaks aloud. No, don't! You'll hurt them! And unlike in a normal Embrace Darkness, Totoy can respond to this.
It's not fair. They can't be in here. It's not fair. They took them, and their kids miss them, and they miss their kids. This isn't fair.
And as Totoy's voice echoes out across the room, with many of the other like operatives in this room panicking and screaming, Seraphina, as you come sprinting into the room, you would see Totoy embracing darkness, screaming and enlarging in size as his crossbar radiates the darkness strings down towards him. You would see him reaching out towards the far wall with all the discs, and you would hear the exchange between him and Cleven as Cleven actually hugs Totoy around his center and tries to plead with him. What does Seraphina want to do?
Okay, remind me again exactly where the discs are with like respect to where we are and the other people in the room.
Circular room. You guys imagine you guys are at 6 o'clock. These things are up near 10 o'clock, but not lining the wall, just in that direction. Basalt is almost directly across the room, like 12 o'clock, but kind of towards the center. The one fetch operator alongside Twang are at 11 o'clock, a bit closer to the wall. And then you have like 3 other operatives in this room, one of whom is unconscious. The other 2 are ducking for cover at your 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock respectively, but both of them are like yelling and trying to call out like help and panic and advice.
Okay. I am going to, as I run into the room, put my hand on Cleven's shoulder and say, leave Totoy, get to Crackle's disc.
And
then
as you do so, Cleven turns back to you, his face panic. He says, but he'll hurt him. Look what he's doing. And he points over to the discs, which you can see have a strange ooze seeping from them.
I'll say that you have to get to him and help him.
And as you do so, Cleven rips off his backpack. But before you can see what he's doing there, does Seraphina have immediate follow-ups?
Yes, I want to immediately start sprinting towards the person that's controlling the fetch.
Yep, and as you do so...
And get my scanner out.
Yeah, Twang still has one fist embedded in the ceiling, but he kind of turns to face you, gives like a great chuff. The operator on the far side of him would call out, "Careful! Active fetch danger! Get down! I repeat, get down!"
Yeah, I'm just going to keep running towards the operator.
And he calls out one last desperate warning. "Hit the deck now!"
I will throw myself like in a baseball slide, basically, so that I'm still going forward with my scanner in one hand.
Yep. The fist goes rocketing across you. It slams into some machinery on the far side of the room. As it does so, this would put Seraphina, although she's on the ground, probably like 6 running paces away from the massive fetch, with the operator another 3 running paces behind it. What would she try to do from here?
She's going to try to, remembering her very first mission, she's going to try to rip a couple of wires out of the scanner and try to electrocute the Walkman.
She's still quite far away from it. How's she going to bridge the gap? Because she had to slide low.
Yeah, can I just like power the scanner up to do something, but with these wires loose, have it like shoot electricity out of it?
Give me a deeper paired action for it.
She is going to be fumbling, like as she's sliding forward, she's going to try to like flip over onto her back so she's got like both hands. Mm-hmm. Like an otter playing with like a fish, basically. Just be like fumbling with it, rip the wires out, and turn it all the way as high as the power goes on the scanner.
As you were doing so, you can feel it, again, reminiscent of the first mission we did, starting to like lace into your body. Your hand seizes up as well. Does Seraphina have anything in the way of vigor or reflex or skill?
Skill +1.
Skill +1. That's something. That'll be how she can like discombobulate her scanner faster. And as it kind of sparks into her hands, and she feels her hand kind of claw up like this, jumping over to Basalt. You've obviously been knocked clean across the room, and while you can't see, you can hear, and your stone skin is still up. What do you want to do?
Yep, still tensed up, but I am blind. Now I got thrown across the room, so I don't know exactly where I am.
Yeah.
So just like popping up for a second, and I'm going to stomp, which activates my tremor sense, of course, which I have a perk on that says when used during combat can be focused on an individual target within mid-range, granting enhanced perception of body mechanics. And looking for the operator.
Absolutely. And as you do so, 2 things you note. First of all, the great fetch Twang is currently recoiling his fist. Not that you would know this, but having missed Seraphina. And the operator is standing just behind Twang. He's moving quickly and tactically, kind of like a referee in a wrestling match, you know, having to stay like right with the action. And it's clear that he's trained to do this. The only other thing that you would notice, besides him moving well with Twang's movements, is that Twang is not super focused on you at the moment. Nothing about his body posture would indicate that, and you haven't seen him, you know, doing jabs or like, you know, witch's eye throws or anything like that. What would you like to do from here?
All right. He wants to try and get an angle on the operator to maybe throw a circling stone or explode my stone skin on him. Is there any opportunity for that, or is Twang, since he's kind of keeping Twang in the middle, I think that's going to be tough.
It is really tough. He's doing a very good job of covering himself.
I do like the idea of a baseball slide, though. Is going between Twang's legs an option?
Twang is big and does have big, meaty elephant legs. And so you could probably get between them. Though that said, while Twang is big, he's not slow. And now that Basalt has been whacked by him twice, it does seem like Twang would be able to react to that unless you found a way around it.
Is Geomorph off cooldown?
Yeah, you have it.
All right.
Do you need a moment to think?
Can I detect my maul at all?
I was just thinking that. I would say yes. It is on the ground near Twang, kind of like by his feet, on the side facing you rather than his operator.
All right. I think I'm going to get up and kind of start with a walk and leading into a jog, into a run, and I'm going to think about what I'm going to do with that.
Great. In that case, jumping briefly back to Seraphina before going back over to Totoy. Seraphina, hand clawed up, electricity's like zapping you to a point where it's actually kind of hard to move. What do you want to do?
Just release it. Just point my arm as well as I'm able in the direction of the operator and just let it go.
Yep. And as you go to throw it, you would see that once again, Twang comes to action. And you can see that an aerial sticking off of his head coils out and slurps up the lightning as a lightning rod. And then snaps back to his head. You can see that there's a little like spark about it. But as you do so, the operator says, "What the damn hell do you think you're doing, woman?"
Oh, this is when I wish I had taken the magic shushing perk. I am going to try to use catalog with read you like a book on him to figure out how to turn the damn thing off.
All right, what's going to be your paired action for it?
She's going to sit up. I imagine I've come to a stop at this point. I'm not graced.
Absolutely. And you're not like right in front of Twang, but you're like pretty much right in front of Twang.
All right. She is going to dramatically take off her sunglasses.
Sick.
And stare this guy right in the eyes. If anybody else is at an angle where they can see her, her eyes are inverted. The whites of her eyes are black and the pupils are white. And she's going to stare this guy down.
And as you do so, he freezes for a moment, and the catalog washes over her, and you do get a full sense of how to operate it. For one, it has, like a Walkman, it has an eject button. That would not only stop it if you press it once, but if you press it twice, it pops up, and you can take out the disc. In terms of how he is operating it, however, that's a little more sophisticated. There is a... How would I describe this? There is a port in the Walkman where he sticks his little finger into it, and it's almost like he's plugging himself into the machine.
Ew. Okay. Okay.
And it seems that all of the commands he is issuing to Twang are all coming through that.
Through that connection.
Yep.
Okay. Do I have more time to do something else, or is it someone else's turn?
What do you want to go for?
I would just like to get up and try to PS my way through telling him the same thing that I told the people outside, that this was a live drill. They had been warned about this earlier, in the month, and that's what's going on. The drill is ending. Stand down.
But as you go to open your mouth, Twang's gigantic hand finishes retracting, and this time, instead of being just like it balled up in a punch, it opens up into a massive grasper, and rather than rocketing forward at like full speed, it just kind of comes forward towards Seraphina to just like clunk and like grab her like an ice cream cone.
Okay. Well, that sucks. Wait, is it covering my mouth though?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
What is she going to try to do? It is inbound, and it does not look necessarily jukeable, given her stats.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely not. She is going to try to run back towards Basalt.
And as she staggers backwards, clank, it snaps around her.
Yep.
It is not, like, killing you, right? It's not crushing you, but you are just, like, completely pinned. You can talk, but it's, like, really muffled, and also, you can barely see. You can only see, like, a little bit over the top of the great clamp. Though I will say, at the moment, Twang doesn't have any arms available. Because one is grabbing Seraphina, the other is still stuck in the ceiling. Before we go further, however, Totoy.
Yes, sir.
As you are screaming, it's not fair. And the ooze is dripping from the CDs that line the discs that line the far wall. Cleven would shove something into Totoy's face. He has to like stand on tiptoes to get it close to Totoy's face, given his new form. And Totoy would see what is now a familiar image. And you hear Cleven narrate it. When someone did something awful to Smudge the dog, did he hurt other people?
Oh, my! And now Totoy is just making angry general noises, cause he doesn't want to disappoint Smudge the dog.
Yeah. And Cleven says, no, he did the right thing, and I know you can do the right thing, and Twang's gone crazy, and he's hurting the people who are helping us, and you gotta do something about it.
Ooh. As I'm hearing this, could I say that the crayon drawings in my vision just like continue to get like more and more intense and just like scribbles like all over? And
Yeah,
whatnot?
absolutely. And I will note, again, normally Embrace Darkness would have zero fucking time for anything like this, but for some reason, combination of reasons we can get to after the mission, Cleven's voice would cut through it, and Totoy would actually hear him. Not necessarily mean that he has to listen to him, of course, but he does hear him.
Now, very true. And with that said, he sees this, these scribbles, and then in the center of his vision is Smudge the dog. And he hears Cleven go, I know you can help. And Totoy's like, I can't. Smudge can. With my freaking darkness, can I summon Smudge the dog?
Oh, God. Where do you want to summon Smudge the dog?
I'd imagine like all the like crayon scribbles in my vision just kind of like collapse together, and like in the center of the room, now kind of confronting the bad guy, so to say. So Twang and its operator will go, and that's where he's gonna put Twang the dog, Smudge the dog,
Yep.
because that's a problem, and Smudge can solve it.
Smudge is very big, and you can see
Yes,
that
he is.
even though his name is Smudge, right? He is composed of scribbles, and as he kind of like blooms up, you can see that Twang immediately shifts his head towards Smudge. A threat acquired. What will Totoy tell his fetch to do?
uh, looks towards Smudge. Do the right thing! And again, like in a child's mind, this is like fix the situation. So I guess to Totoy that would be like no more fighting. +2 luck. Somehow get the disc injected, or at the very least his pinky out of the Walkman.
Yeah. And as Totoy calls this, he feels himself small again. Embrace Darkness is still active, but it has been transferred onto Smudge the dog. And he feels himself
Amazing.
grabbed by the hand and pulled by Cleven across the room, sprinting towards the discs.
Yes.
And that said, Seraphina would not see this, but what she would feel is a sudden shadow cast over her. She'd get an overwhelming smell of crayons in her nose.
Mm-hmm.
And she would hear Totoy's voice echo out, "Do the right thing." And she would see the shadow of Dark Smudge kind of like loom up as he approaches Twang, like Godzilla versus King Kong. But at the same time this is happening, Basalt is running in.
Right. So what I would like to do as I'm running up, run my hand along the ground,
Yep.
activating my Earth Shapers, of course. And I want to form like a stone fist, just like an oversized stone fist. 3 might, I can hold this up pretty good.
Oh yeah.
But still keeping it low. And as I'm getting close to Twang, do I have a clear shot? Or is he like moving around? Are his arms occupied?
Twang's arms are occupied. One's stuck in the ceiling. The other is holding Seraphina. And while he is... You notice that... Well, you wouldn't really notice this because Tremor Sense is not active at the very moment. But you don't...
Yeah. And blind by stone skin.
Yeah, exactly. And so because of that, even though you knew that Twang was kind of like shifting to position, you don't hear the sounds of any of his attacks.
All right. Then using my giant stone fist, I would like to geomorph once again. I want to punch down into the ground as my paired action and scooping ground up, forming a larger earth fist to uppercut Twang into the ceiling.
Oh, sick. Is this the sort of thing that, like, yeah, I was gonna say like a ki or something would come out of Basalt as he's doing it. Yeah,
definitely.
And this Seraphina would see as she is like again grabbed by this great gripper and is being pulled closer to Twang. It would suddenly open and she would pop out onto the ground. As she kind of like tumbles onto the floor, she would see overhead the looming figure of the darkened, scribble-made Smudge, still recognizable as the comic character, with his signature perky smile on his face looking a whole lot more menacing than it normally would. And she would also see the great stone fist that has erupted from the concrete floor and slammed into Twang, causing him to stagger backwards, and that's what caused him to drop her as well. Immediate follow-ups from Seraphina.
Does his attention still seem to be on Smudge?
Yes, entirely.
Okay. Then she's gonna run up. You said that the guy operating this is not a meaty person. He's just like a geek. Okay.
Yep.
Then she's gonna run over to him and just by sheer force of personality, just put her hand out and go, give me the tool. Just like with the sense, totally channeling, like, your library book is overdue. Really overdue.
As she is running up towards him, she sees him smoothly reposition and go to bring the great bulk of Twang once again into the way, but Twang doesn't move. And she sees why. Smudge the dog has given him a hug. But it's a hug from which he certainly is not getting out. Smudge has wrapped him up in a great crayon-y hug, and as Twang's like spring limbs are trying to like wind up into position, he's become kind of T-Rexified, can't really shift him. And Basalt, after your enormous punch, immediate follow-ups from you. You hear the great satisfying clang of it.
Nice. Stomping again to reactivate my tremor sense, again focusing on the operator.
Yep. You would also clock Seraphina, like rushing in towards him, and he's trying to move to get out of her, like to get behind Twang and get out of her way.
All right. I would just shout out to Seraphina, "Get clear!" And I'm gonna like football dive towards him and end my stone skin exploding out on him.
And Seraphina, as you are rushing, and he is starting to get cornered, his fetch isn't stepping into place to protect him, he's looking towards you, you would hear Basalt's roar, and rather than see him, you have Trip's spirit. You can feel him coming in, and you can feel the deadly intent with which he is approaching at speed.
Okay, he's going for the operator.
Yes.
Now, right? Okay, yeah, she'll just step back then. This is going to take care of itself.
Boom. This is detonating the stone skin, I would imagine.
Yes. Trying to direct it towards him as much as I can.
And Seraphina would see the man drop. It's like he was shot by a Tommy gun, right? Just like bleeding from a dozen stone shard holes across his body. And the Walkman would roll off of his hand, his finger popping off of it. You would see that the finger, it looks like kind of uncomfortably pale where he had been wearing it. And as he drops and it goes rolling over the floor, kind of like a hula hoop that you let spin. Immediate follow-ups from Seraphina.
Can I try to catch the cassette thing before it hits the ground?
Oh, before it hits the ground. Well, you had to get clear from the explosion. So how would you want to try to get back in to grab it before?
I mean, I would make a reason. Well, no, she'd probably let it hit the ground.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. Go over and pick it up after the dust has settled.
And as she does so, with little bits of stone shard like peppering the ground around her, she manages to seize it up. And what would she like to do immediately with it?
Hit the eject button.
And as soon as she does so, she hears like a and Basalt, who is now free of his stone skin, would not only see Seraphina seizing this up, but he would also see the great form of Twang kind of snap to and freeze and vanish. Immediate follow-ups from Basalt as Dark Smudge now looks towards him.
Dark Smudge goes, "Aw, heck."
Perfect.
Yeah, that's probably what's going through Basalt's mind now. What the heck is that? Is there any escape from Dark Smudge?
That's a great focus word. Is there any escape from Dark Smudge? Looking immediately about you, you have a few things in your favor. One, this is still, even though it's kind of open concept, it is still kind of an office environment. There's still furniture and things you could dive behind that haven't been just completely smashed or thrown out of the way. Second thing of interest is that where Twang had left a hole in the ceiling, not only did he smash through the concrete and smash through a bit of metal that was encasing the concrete to some degree, But he also reached actual Earth, which now kind of drips down into the room from above. Third thing of note is there are 3 other doors out of this place than the way you came in, including one quite close to you, though you have no idea whether it is also locked and whether that lock is applicable from the inside, because you did have to do some work to get in here. What would you try?
Probably look to Seraphina, like grab a hand or something if she seems amenable to that, and try to like get to cover first to get away from Dark Smudge.
Yeah, Seraphina, are you gonna protest at all someone helping you get to fucking cover?
Yes, because I'm still on mission to get Crackle's disc.
Yep. So like, are you just trying to like twist away from Basalt, and if so, what are you doing from here?
Yeah, I would kind of shake off his hand, go the disc, Crackle, and run back like around. I was pretty close to where the discs were.
You
right?
were pretty close to it. However, as you pull away and go to run around, Dark Smudge's great arm kind of settles into place with crayon scribbles blocking it off from you. And as you do so, he says in a strange, echoey, like downshifted voice, "Don't worry, champ. There's always tomorrow." Sigh.
Where's
Completely in character.
Claven? So creepy.
You cannot see him at all. Dark Smudge blocks out half the room.
Okay. Well, she's definitely, she might have left without Crackle. She's definitely not leaving without the child.
Yeah.
Is there room like under it? No, you know what she's gonna do? She's going to she's gonna try infernal networking. This is gonna be
Tell me about
weird. Okay. Infernal networking, I get to call upon a demon. His name is Jerry, who tells me about it was a weird mission with Mary May. Amazing, but weird. Jerry tells me about the interpersonal relationships of people.
Is this
that,
like a fun
we
fact
meet.
perk or something?
It is it's a knowledge is power perk.
Nice. Okay.
So I call up Jerry. I'm like, Jerry, I need you. It's getting weird here.
What does Jerry sound like?
He sounds like he's from Brooklyn. I don't know why.
Hey, what the fuck do you want today? Fucking hell, man.
Do you know what the hell this thing is in front of me?
What the fuck do you think I should know? Jesus fucking Christ.
What does it care about?
Oh, what does it care about? It's a fucking children's cartoon that's come to life and is gonna fucking rip your guts out, steal your soul, or some bullshit. I don't know, probably children. Fucking the
Children.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good enough. Thank you.
Before we go further, Basalt, are you still jumping for cover, or with Seraphina pulling away, are you gonna try to meet shield in some way?
Yeah, he is. Considers himself to be the Stone Guardian, and so if she's going to be rushing off into danger, he's going to do his best to protect.
Yep. In that case, since her path has been cut off by Dark Smudge, Basalt would see that she's kind of trapped, especially when Dark Smudge puts down his other arm and traps you guys in like a wedge against the 12 o'clock wall of the room from if you came in from 6. As you would do so, you can see that Dark Smudge kind of looms over you, again with his very uncanny signature smile.
Okay. I'm gonna call Totoy. Totoy, I need you. Cleven, are you there?
We're going to catch up with them in a moment. Quick actions from Basalt as well before we jump to them. If nothing else, where are you positioning yourself?
Yeah, in front of Seraphina if I can. And is my rock maul nearby?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so gonna pick that up.
Exactly that.
Ready it, thinking how the fuck I'm gonna fight this thing. Yeah, exactly. And since I got nothing, that's where I'm gonna leave it.
Awesome. Wilstan?
2.
Awesome. So you're not in red essence. That's all I needed to check. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah. Yellow.
How am I feeling? Yeah, yellow.
Yeah. Jumping back over to Totoy. You and Cleven rush across the room with him like pulling you behind him. But as you are nearing the data, one of the few remaining workers who are in this room pop up from underneath a desk, and he steps in front. He says, "Young man, you cannot go further. Stop."
Am I behind?
You are just behind, but as Cleven would actually come to a stop, Totoy would come level with him.
Okay, good. He's going to like just as how Cleveland put his body on the line for Totoy. Totoy is going to return the favor in kind, step in front, and then he is going to be like, "You leave him alone, or I'm going to do a really scary face."
And you see that the man gives like a face, and he says, "Kid, I don't know what you're doing here, and I don't know how you got this fetch through our fetch protection protocols, but we're going to have to deal with it." And he takes out a device.
As he does so, Totoy is like, as he's talking, he like puts his hands over on his face, begins to drag down, and removes his face. This
Oh,
is
God.
his skin for his death mask.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
And the man, what does it look like under that? Just for curiosity. If we don't get to know, that's fine.
I would say just as how is normal quote unquote faceplate is a very uncanny version of like a child's face. This is a very uncanny version of what like the muscles of a face would look like. Like if
Yeah.
like literally the skin was just removed.
And the man pauses. He's holding up something that looks kind of like a tuning fork, and he goes, "Heavens to Betsy. Oh, God." And he staggers back. Get that thing away from here, kid." And Cleveland says, "No, don't say that. That's an awful thing to say to my friend Totoy. Come on. Don't be rude." That thing's no friend, kid."
Totoy takes a step towards the man.
He holds out the tuning fork looking thing as though it were like his like a gun or something, or his only line of defense. "Stand back. Get back."
Totoy takes another step, emboldened, and ooh,
Just grabbing my sweater.
oh God, how can I justify saying this? Okay. Totoy's gonna try in a very weird way to play the empathetic card. And with his death mask, looks up at the guy and just asks, in his mind, innocently, "What does your fetch look like?"
Oh, God. Terror. And the man, his like heart catches in his chest, or it catches in his throat, and his trembling hand drops the device, and he scampers backwards and huddles up underneath a nearby desk, and he clutches his hands to his face. He says, "No, no, 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 no." And Cleveland says, "Thank you very much," to him, and takes Totoy's hand, not looking at his face, and says, "Okay, I think we can go get it now."
Totoy continues to look over the man, still waiting for an answer to his question, but now noticing that the man is like not looking at him anymore. He's like, "Wow, that is very rude. I am at least a very polite little boy," and
Yeah.
puts his face back on.
As you do so, you can hear the man just kind of whispering to himself, "Heavens to Betsy, heavens to Betsy." I could see Totoy maybe assuming that that meant that the fetch's name was Betsy, but I'm not sure he has that much attention to spare for it.
No, but again, it's more so that he looks at the man and he's like, he learned that he now understands he was doing a bad thing. Good.
And as Cleven hurries up, and he starts to like kind of pull out the disc. This one? No. This one? No, this doesn't feel right. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Can I activate Insidious Whispers on Cleven?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Done. And you see him pause. And he goes, oh. Oh. And he stomps his foot on the ground. He says, you thief. And he looks towards the man hiding under the desk. And he says, Totoy, he has it. He has my fetch.
Robbie, why don't you just line up these dominoes for me? Totoy is already in a very interesting emotional state right now. And again, he's like, oh, this man learned his lesson. He stole it from me. Immediately whips around, starts charging at this man, just yelling.
He
So just imagine this wooden
screams
puppet
bloody
just like,
murder.
yeah.
And are you like gonna like tackle him or what? Like,
Yes, he's gonna tackle him and try to get the disc.
he screams and claws at you like you were a spider on his leg that he didn't notice. And as you do so, you finally manage to grasp another of the little Walkman things. And pulling it out, Clem says, pass it to me, Totoy.
Yeah, okay. And then let's see. I mean, if I can eat, since I already grabbed it, I'm gonna get off of this man, and then gonna run up, give the Walkman device over to Cleveland while he picks up his gun, and then just begins shooting at the man.
Is this shooting anything more than like little pop caps, or are we manifesting?
We'll leave that up to you. In Totoy's mind, this is working.
This
That's all
man
I'll
is
say.
Dead.
Okay, great, awesome, good.
But it's at this
I
point.
can't wait to tell Crow.
But it is at this point that Totoy would hear Seraphina's voice calling out. I can't remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of, Totoy, I need you.
Oh, that's my friend. We need to go now. We need to go now. And then he's like pulling on Cleveland.
And Cleveland has managed to eject the disc, and he's shaking. He says, come out, come out, come out, come out. Come on, I knew you're in there. Come on. But he's too focused on trying to find a way to release Crackle to listen to Totoy. And Totoy can see the great looming figure of Dark Smudge starting to slowly encircle one part of the room with his great crayon-y arms.
So it looks like we're being like...
No. You're outside of the ring, but Seraphina's voice came from inside of it.
Oh, got it. Excuse me. Yeah, no, Totoy is then just going to start running over to where he sees Dark Smudge's arm is starting to come through and says, I'm coming!
And as you do so, as you rush up behind Dark Smudge, you could either come at it from like the arm side or from the body side. And Dark Smudge is huge and is becoming more indistinct, smudge-like, if you will. Not to mention still has his big, to Totoy's eyes, signature friendly smile on his face.
Okay, hold on. So, give me a moment to think.
Of course, got you.
Thank you.
Seraphina and Basalt. As Dark Smudge looms, his arms start to tighten. Not to the point where you're being touched by them, but to the point where if it was like a 20-foot diameter, it's starting to become an 18, then a 15-foot diameter, and then a 12-foot diameter. As he starts to like bring himself around, his great looming, grinning face looking at you, as he says aloud, "There's always time to learn how to do the right thing. Don't I know it?"
Terrifying.
Seraphina is what?
You first.
Seraphina is going to start just drawing on every bit of spirit that she has, all of her accumulated knowledge of old children's stories, like the creepy ones, like the ones that didn't have happy endings, the ones that had creatures like this in it.
Ah,
But the lessons in them and the importance of children and those early bonds and all of the stories of imaginary friends and everything, and just start building up. She wants Totoy there to help make the connection to this thing that it summoned, but she's starting to just try to gather all of that sense, like with her spirit, of what is important about those themes and what is important to children, and
oof.
teaching them about doing the right thing
Oh, I
with
got a rough one
those
for
early
ya.
friends.
This obviously part of what created Dark Smudge was Totoy's Embrace Darkness. And Totoy's Embrace Darkness was based in large part upon the pen pal letters that had been written to the fetches trapped here. And as she opens her spirit, she would feel that feeling rushing into her. Of the children,
Yep.
friends lost, tricked from them, stolen from them, all built up in this great amalgamation, which is now also possessed by its own malefic intentions. All of
Yep.
it mixed up together, a combination of good intentions, bad morals, somewhere between the two, and just a whole heaping dose of destructiveness laced on top of it.
Yep. So I would just say to it, you know about the importance of doing the right thing, and these children have had a part of themselves ripped away from them by grown-ups with poor intentions. The best thing that we could do would be to save all of these and give them back to their children.
And as she is saying this, Basalt, Dark Smudge is drawing closer and closer, and the base of his great muzzle is nearing the top of Basalt's head, with his great toothy smile just above that.
Trying to think how he would know to do this. I think keying off of what Seraphina is saying about the children gives him an idea. I'm trying to think of how he could realistically try and pull this off in the time that he has, but putting them all down, kneeling down, and using his earth shapers to kind of like just dig his fingertips in. And I want to make like little stone children pop up all around us.
Out of the concrete?
Yeah. Like they'll be crude, but try and put as much as I can into like giving them the detail of being little children.
As I would imagine Basalt grinding his teeth as he's doing this.
Yeah.
Especially for the detail of it. And Seraphina, as you can see Basalt's efforts and these little statuettes popping up, what will she follow up with, if anything, as Dark Smudge looms closer and closer with his teeth the only bright thing amidst the darkness that he casts?
Can I make the letters, those messages that are like embedded in the walls, glow?
Ooh, what's your arcane stat?
Base.
Baseline? It's rough.
Yeah,
Let me think.
it's okay. I can do
So
something
off
else.
of Knowledge is Power, when you contact Jerry, is that a full use of Knowledge is Power?
No, because I don't get a like magic
Okay, cool.
thing from it.
Thank you for clarifying that. In that case, your scanner's broken. Fuck, that would have been a good way of doing it too. You used catalog quite recently as well, so that would be on cooldown. What other gear pieces do you have that you could piggyback off of on this?
I really don't. I just have the glasses and the scanner.
Your intelligence stat again? 3?
3.
Okay. We've been talking about these as being pen pal messages that you're detecting here. And since you're picking them up so strongly, that must mean that there's a compilation of them. Presumably, kind of like, letters written to Santa Claus get processed somewhere. They probably have a similar thing going on. And you do still have your book bag.
I was going to say, can I whip them out of my book bag?
I am A-okay with
Also,
that.
is there anything that's like a tagline of Smudges that I can use to really drive it home?
Oh,
with
that's a
like something
great
about him being a good dog or something?
Yeah, actually, I think there absolutely would be, and I like the one that you threw down there. It's kind of in a similar direction to what I was thinking. Yeah, I think I got some for you. It takes your whole life to be a good dog.
All right. Yep, she will whip out the letters and just flip through them, like reading a sentence here, a sentence there, just going the raw pain that these children are going through. You've learned over a long run that it takes a long time. It takes your whole life to be a good dog. You could be the best boy right now. Give these children back their best friends.
And Totoy, on the outside of Dark Smudge, as he circles over your companions, what will you do?
I do clock that Dark Smudge only has bad intentions for his friends, right?
The best way I can describe it is that there's a whole lot going on in Dark Smudge right now, and unfortunately they are a very low priority.
Fair enough. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, hear me out.
Hit me.
That's my Embrace Darkness.
It is?
I transferred it over to these scribbles. I could probably get them back. And remembering that he told Smudge to do the right thing, and seeing how that was Smudge, in his eyes, hugging his opponent, he goes behind Smudge to hug him back and is immediately overwhelmed again with those negative feelings, those feelings of desperation from the children, this feeling of having the world broken because of adults who they were told to trust that just took them away. This sense of loneliness just begins to overwhelm him. And I want to pitch that that darkness starts to come back into Totoy and away from Dark Smudge, reducing him back to just scribbles.
And as Totoy does so, wow, this is a really interesting interaction here. Seraphina would notice something, as would Basalt. Basalt is just tipping into red, by the way, and so this would be augmented by vivid hallucinations. As the book of the compilation of letters in Seraphina's hand blows about, as though disrupted by wind. And it's as though the dark smudge is dissipating, and the ribbons and scribbles are descending back into the pages. You can hear behind Totoy gasping, and you can see his little form illuminated as he draws the malefic force in Dark Smudge back. But each of those little letters, as the scribbles kind of rush back into them, drift down to the feet of each of the little statuettes that Basalt has made. And you guys would hear a cracking, splintering noise from across the room. Immediate follow-ups, first from Basalt. Does Basalt have a spirit stat?
No.
Okay. In that
He
case,
has one arcane.
In that case, with the hallucinations kind of winking around him, playing with him, it's hard for him to tell what is real. In this case, the scribbles returning to paper, like pages, and the pages drifting down to the statuettes, and what is not real. Perhaps in his example, a great brilliant sun shining overhead, though you are still underground.
Probably turn to one of the statues. Like, is that real?
And I don't even know if he would get a satisfactory conclusion to this. So what would he do afterwards?
Yeah, just not getting a response. Like, and then look, maybe for Seraphina, for some grounding.
Quite. She's there, and Seraphina, you would see Basalt's, again, heroic, stoic disposition, turning around to you in like a, where are my hands sort of way, like, come, a little lost. But she would also see Totoy, like vibrating and shimmering and probably beginning to distort back into his Embrace Darkness form.
Yep. Okay. Does Smudge seem to be shrinking or becoming less of a threat?
Smudge has been dissipated. But
okay, entirely.
Totoy is becoming a threat.
Okay. Do I realize that I would probably realize what's happening to Basalt, right?
Yeah, you have a high spirit stat. You can tell
Yeah.
Basalt is like having a hard time and he's losing his grip on reality.
Okay. I'm going to pat him on the shoulder and tell him to sit down.
Yeah. Just sit back, kind of like legs spread out on the ground, but fingers still in the ground, and like start kind of walking them forward like this to make the statues walk toward Totoy.
And as Basalt does so, almost placidly, Totoy, as the Embrace Darkness returns in full, there is only one target that Embrace Darkness will want to hit at all, which is Seraphina. Basalt as well, but Seraphina is the one standing up.
You see the puppet head just turn to look at Seraphina.
Yep.
Then the rest of his body follows suit. And then, kind of in a really creepy, crawling manner, goes on like almost on all fours and starts to like make his way over to Seraphina.
As she does so, with again her spirit set, she can feel the malefic force radiating off of Totoy. This is not even Totoy anymore, really.
Yeah. Where is Cleveland with respect to Totoy and me?
And she sees him off to the side. Cleveland is rushing over, but he's not alone. She can see the great, colorful, blue, orange, and red anthropomorphic crab with boxing glove claw fists at the ready, rushing into position heroically.
Excellent. She will try to get, meet Cleveland halfway and get behind Crackle.
And as she does so, Cleveland yells out, "Don't worry, I'm going to protect you now." And he springs into place and he says, "Go on, Crackle, and remember, be nice."
That may not be what we need right now, but
don't worry, we got it.
Good. Okay.
And Crackle begins to punch. His fists are a blur. But instead of punching Totoy, Crackle punches the air around Totoy. And the cavitation bubbles burst. Totoy in Embrace Darkness is buffeted and battered and is pushed inwards. Again, you can think like a what's the one? Mal, you know what I'm talking about. The fucking JoJo's meme. I know that Mal will figure it out. Yeah, just a blinding blur of punches that is shoving like bodily like forcing Embrace Darkness Totoy into a smaller and smaller form without. Thank you. That's the one. GIF Lord Mal on the trigger. And as Cleveland is doing so, shouting out words of encouragement, "Good job, Crackle. Nice one. Excellent. That's fantastic. We'll get him back." Seraphina, follow-ups from you, and then also to Basalt. I will also note, by the way, Seraphina would notice Basalt's little army of little moving, like, stone children. And
Yeah, her horror meter has been pinned since Totoy entered the scene. She doesn't even register.
But the other thing of note is that each of the little stone children is actually clutching its letter to its chest.
Aww. Yep.
And as she does so, there's another thing she would realize. Those letters have so much potency in them. We're not just talking emotional here, right? And the discs that line the far wall are all shattered and lay sharded on the ground.
Oh shoot.
The letters
like
hold the fetches.
Okay. Then she will, like, movement wise, she's going to try to keep them pivoting as they like circle the room. So that like we're all in one group again. Obviously, except for poor Totoy, who's getting hammered right now. We'll deal with that in a minute. First things first. And I'm going to tell Cleveland, great job, kiddo, keep it up. And then talk to Basalt and be like, you might want to bring them back because we need those letters.
Okay.
Good job. Is there? Can I use knowledge as power to do something that could get a magical effect that could like kind of patch his essence back up?
Oh, rough.
To some extent.
That would be a little tough. What you could do though, you do have catalog backup at this point.
Yes. You need to like to check the room to see if there's anything in the room that would help him.
Well, also like not only to because you've been doing this kind of mind hacking thing with people, you could try to do something with that on Basalt, or you could even do something like try to gather in the little statuettes.
Okay. Yeah, I will. All right, I'll try the catalog on Basalt and see if I can try to.
What's going to be your paired action for it?
I'm gonna put my hand on the top of his head. He's sitting down. Yeah. And just like close my eyes and try to tune in to where his head is at right now.
Where is Basalt's head right now, Detour?
I think given the theme, this is probably hearkening back to his childhood, and this is something that parents would do, like make little stone figures to entertain their children with. And so that's kind of where his head is at. It's like, oh yeah, making the little stone figures dance.
And as she is trying to bring Basalt back in, at least to the point where he can loop the figurines back towards Totoy, you come back to your senses to feel like as you're being like punched and buffeted into place without any actual fist being laid upon you. But you have had the embrace darkness punched out of you.
I love that so much.
And you would see Crackle superhero posing above you in like again kind of a centaur sort of posture with several sets of punchy arms up on his hips and then more rows of legs that double as punchy arms below.
Oh, dang it.
Sorry,
I thought it would catch it, didn't.
Damn it.
He yells,
It still got attenuated. Your poor neighbor.
Totoy peeking mics in unique ways on every mission. That's awesome. And you can see that Cleveland looks so proud he's about to burst, and he runs over and offers hands to help Totoy to his feet.
He takes it and then does like the little kid hug thing again, right? Just like,
And this time Cleveland hugs him for real and gives him a big squeeze and lifts him off the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
And he says,
Friendship
right,
wins.
now we gotta get out, and that's not gonna be too bad, because look who made a hole. And he points up to the hole in the ceiling. And he says, all right, Crackle, you know what to do, buddy. And Crackle leaps up and starts punching the ceiling open to make the hole bigger.
Wait, isn't that gonna... Oh, no, you said the underground part was, like, way bigger. This might just open into yard.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Right.
And as he goes punching up, he whirls around to Basalt and to Seraphina and says, thanks. A lot.
Of course. That's what we're here for.
And he points and says, what's all that? Looking toward the walking figurines, each holding the little page.
Those are all the rest of the fetches. We're gonna try to gather them up.
Really?
Can you help us give them
Yeah,
back?
I can bring them back. I know where all of them live.
Okay. She'll tap Basalt on the head and be like, bring them. Can you make them make a little circle around us?
Okay.
Cool.
And as they do so, he whips into his backpack, rifles through it, and throws out everything that he can, just making room. And the only thing that he leaves behind is the comic book, which he uses to house the letters inside so they don't get crumpled, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And as he takes and puts, he rips off the cover and hands it to Totoy.
Like, Totoy holds it and then looks up at the older kid and goes up and hugs him again, but this time tighter.
And Cleven's eyes tear up and he says, remember, Totoy, it takes your whole life to be a good dog. And you feel your Enclave badges ping. Final actions, beginning with Basalt.
Probably make all the little stone figurines do their final pirouette before they hand off their letters, and then we did good, Rock Sisters.
And final actions from Seraphina.
Can I either through... I don't even know how I would do this. Can I somehow conjure or manifest or something like a little fake Enclave badge? You know how like they give kids like the little fake sheriff badges or
Book
something?
bag.
Yes, book bag. Okay, I ruffle in the book bag for a second. I pull out a little fake Enclave badge and I give it to Cleveland and I go, you were the real superhero today.
And he looks at it for a second and says, well, maybe... And he kind of looks at it and says, maybe I'll get a real one after, you know... My parents don't want me to skip any more school, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, you listen, when you get outside, you go right to the police and they'll take you back to your family, okay? They said your parents are worried sick.
He says, yeah, I know. I'm going to say sorry, I promise.
Okay.
He says,
You keep doing the right thing. And then she'll hit her step back and hit her badge.
and final actions from Totoy.
Totoy doesn't want to let go. Totoy
And-
know he has to, and to do the right thing, because he's a good boy. He knows he has to, but he doesn't want to.
Cleveland notices him clinging a bit, and he would just kind of squeeze his hand and say, "You can come over, right?" Right?
Can I?
Well, yeah. Look, like
I'm-
he reaches to a nearby desk that's been knocked over and has all its pens scattered around. He takes up a pen and scribbles down a number on the cover of the comic book that he ripped out. There, you have a phone, right? You can just call that, and then your dad and my dad can say a time where you can come over. right?
If Totoy could smile, move his cheeks, he would. And finally, he lets go. And whether or not Cleveland can pick up on this or not, he's gonna go, mm-hmm, yeah, in the very same way that he did when he lied about asking about like is Smudge the dog his favorite too and whatnot. And takes the paper and then pings out.
And he would hear Cleveland sob, "Bye, Totoy." And on that note, we will end the mission.
Oh my god. The emotions.
I got the tears, guys. I got it. Beautiful. First of all, a nose blow, shall we? Second of all, beautifully done. That was awesome. That's like one of my favorite missions I've hosted in a while, to be perfectly honest. That was really, really fun. First of all, before anything else, the focus words. I think it's pretty obvious, but just to go through it. One, Slinky. I will say that also that plus the next focus word heavily inspired the major focus word on like children and play and imagination. Because the second one was violation of Pinky Promise Law. And that
amazing.
Informed so much of this plot, between the children being betrayed and having their imaginary friends stolen away, to the kind of esotericism of childhood, for want of a better term, to even the way that they slid their little finger into the Walkman thing to control it. All of it came from that one. Then lastly, Flail to the face. I had this idea, like, Twang was where I started the mission, because I was like, oh, wouldn't that be sick if there was this, like, character that could throw his arms and it would punch like a truck. What if he was an imaginary friend? And then everything else came out of that. And so Twang, I like built the mission around that fight.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that is, and also I guess a more minor note to that is when I saw Flail to the face, I don't know, that just sounded to me like something you'd see in a Saturday morning comic book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that again kind of informed the almost superhero element of all of this. And do you guys have questions for me about calls that I made or the plot of the mission?
Oh yeah, what the heck happened with my Embrace Darkness that it made it go over to Dark Smudge?
Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Since Totoy was kind of confused to somewhere between being a fetch himself and a child by this area's logic, and he had used Fill the Void on a boy with no fetch who wanted it back.
Oh!
All that looped it in. And especially because remember, Cleveland was like talking to him and was trying, and remember you heard his voice clear. That was both a combination of Fill the Void and also Totoy was almost a fetch himself, almost. And so this boy's voice was able to cut through the Embrace Darkness to him. Really complicated call, but that's how it worked out. And then at the end, the very end where I was like, oh, that's a complicated call as well. The fact that you guys, when you guys the discs smashed, if there had not been a receptacle, the fetches would have died, all of them. But
because of the papers.
Seraphina made the fucking god play of pulling out the letters.
Oh my god. I thought that was just for flavor.
That was enormous. And the fact, on top of that, because Basalt had set up those little figurines, that was another piece. If she had just been holding the letters, Lord knows if it would be anything more than sentimental, right? But because, again, fetches bond to children, and Basalt was in this, regression mode almost. it's not like the fetches bonded to literal children, but between all of those components, it kept them there, so that they could go from disc to page.
Nice. Well played.
Complicated call. Do you guys have any other questions about calls that I made or the plot of the mission?
It's a roller
was
coaster,
awesome.
man.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, so emotional.
To give you guys your props, beginning with Seraphina. Goddamn, Lacara, you've gotten good at this fucking game. You got good fast.
Thank you.
Fantastic use of your spirit stat. Your perks are cool as shit. Really smart scanner play. The social maneuvering, the fun fact on the guards, all of this really tight. Imagine if you had to do this with fighting a second fetch.
I was terrified another one was going to pop up.
Yes. Disaster. The only reason that you may notice that you guys found one, you found Crackle on one of the guys there. They didn't break it out because it was cleaving. They were like, fuck, how's this going to work? I don't know if we're going to be able to make that work. But let's say cleaving got separated. You would have had to fight Crackle.
Oh, God.
And then the one that you headed off had one as well. So, like, there was absolutely petrifying enemies on this mission. Awesome play. Then, Totoy, he's just ended up on some of my favorite missions. This one is no exception. I feel like this was like a seminal moment for the character. This felt so... You just slotted in so beautifully to it. Awesome uses of all your abilities. The Death Mask was the coolest Death Mask play I have seen for a long time. Yeah, Jesus Christ. The character interactions with Cleveland. Like, I set the mission up hoping that would be the case and you'd be able to do a nice fat payoff, but you got like way ahead of me. And then the things with the comic, unbelievable. That was just unbelievable. That's like A+ social energy work, and I loved every second of it. It was what I could not have hoped for this mission to have gone better in terms of what I thought you guys would do as your characters. Speaking of which, Basalt, first of all, beginning of the mission, this is something Seraphina did well too. The like break-in bit at the beginning of the mission, awesome stuff by Seraphina. Basalt did a great job navigating the team, helming the team, letting Seraphina do her thing. Blocking the security camera was fucking tight. Imagine if they had known you were here from the beginning. Serious problem. The kite shield being used as a vision blocker twice on the mission effectively was hilarious. And then
Nice.
The fight was sick. So sick.
Nice.
Like, when I designed this mission, I was like, well, I know Basalt is like a combat kinetic lithomancer who doesn't focus as much on magic. So I'll give him, like, he'll help with the beginning. I have no doubt about that. And then he'll have this nice fat combat sequence, and he completely rose to the occasion. I wanted an enemy that I thought would be a little too much for Basalt by himself, but with some help he could get. And he was so instrumental in that fight. Especially, I think the like sleeper play in that fight was the kite shield deflecting the fist into the ceiling. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was big because it slowed it down a lot from that point on. Made it much more manageable.
And that was all on you. That was just a smart play on your part. So that was beautiful. And yeah, guys, any final thoughts before we close?
Oh, there was a suggestion from the audience, thanks Mal, for the name of the mission, which is Let's Play Fetch.
Oh, that's a good name. Let's do it.
Too perfect.
Nice. Writing it in.
Yes, Let's Play Fetch. Oh, sorry, one more question.
Yeah.
If Twang's punch actually connected with the kid, would it actually have hurted him?
Yes, could have killed him.
Oh my gosh.
There was a very real chance I was not going to do Fill the Void, Robbie. Holy, because I was talking, when you had stepped away, I was talking with the other two, like, oh wait, no, fetches can't affect children. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
That was one of the really nasty surprises I had on this mission was when piloted by an adult in this form, it changes. Because this is, like a bastardization of fetch, of the fetch formula, so to speak. And so it changed the rules. I will say it wouldn't have hit him nearly as hard. I think he maybe could have survived one, but he would have been taken out for the rest of the mission, for sure. And you would have had to do the rest without Cleveland's help, which would have been fucking rough.
Mhm.
Excellent question. Any final thoughts?
This was
Thank
a
you.
roller coaster
Thank you.
mission. Thank you
Yeah.
again so much for hosting. It has been an honor playing with you again, good sir. And to Detour and Lacara. Lacara, this is my first time playing with you, and I genuinely hope this is not the last.
Oh yes, yes, same.
Um,
Yeah.
When I heard I was playing with you two, I was like, oh my god, the legends.
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously,
no!
they are.
And it was an absolute romp. Thank you guys.
Cheers.
Totally. Last thing I will mention is it's rare that I say this when a mission happens. I usually have to sit on it to realize this. I think this is a top 5 mission of all Advent for me. This one,
Nice.
from like a conduiting perspective, it just worked. It moved the way I wanted to move, and even though I had to be pulled away for family stuff. Thank you guys for bearing with me through that. If we subtract that, the actual play time of this mission was about 2.5 hours, which is not bad for like that. Felt like a 4-hour mission. I don't know about you guys, but like that one felt long.
Definitely felt longer.
Ugh, Christ. So thank you, and thank you for making it so special. I had a wonderful time, and with that, I say we draw this to a close. Let's do our quick goodbyes in whatever way you would like. We'll go Meekable, Lacara, and Detour. Final sign off.
Thank you again to Robbie for hosting these missions, and Detour and Lacara for being wonderful co-players. And I hope y'all have a good night.
Yep. Thank you guys for playing. Robbie, your storytelling is just bonkers. Detour and Meekable, you guys were amazing. Thank you. I hope we get to play again together soon.
Absolutely. And Detour.
Yep. Thank you both for playing, and thank you, Robbie, for hosting yet another MVP mission. And if you're watching this and the Kickstarter is active, go back it now.
Yeah.
Marvelous. And as always, my name is Robbie Howell. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch and support Enclave, and ciao for now.